So much has been happening. And yet, our betters, the comedy commentary community, well, they don't have but one thing to say. Shout out to the Good Rant for keeping it real, because even though the Good Rant is still covering the same aspects of the greater narrative, which, by the way, is becoming incredibly hacked, but the Good Rant does a good job of compiling other clips and providing more to the story, at least. So, in folk music, traditionally, when you do a cover of a song, not always, but the people I respect, when they cover a song, they add something to it. I don't know if you noticed this, but when I covered Whiskey in the Jar, I wrote an ending for it. You gotta contribute more to the greater story, to the greater product, to the greater piece of work. That is what makes covering something worth doing, whether you're covering a song you didn't write, or you're covering some comedy commentary. To just repeat what's already been done is antithetical to the progression of the human race. Hi, it's Critical Leaks. Woo-hoo! And this episode will radicalize a generation. And by that, I mean make it more radical. Woo! I have that one cooking. I'm cooking, but not cooked. An important distinction. Let's see here. Oh, shout out to Comedy Mothership. Go follow Comedy Mothership on X. I jumped on X the other day and saw that Comedy Mothership has been holding it down for your boy Druid here. Much appreciated. The show, Critical Leaks, we very much appreciate you. And so if you're hearing this and you spend any time on X, if you have the stones to hang out on X, which I do, it's not even that I lack the stones, I lack the mental fortitude. I start seeing fatigue enough and I start going, ew. I'm susceptible to these things, and so I stick on good old-fashioned YouTube, where there's no propaganda and everyone is on the same team. Welcome to Critical Leaks, where the lowest common denominator of folks sit, sip, and overanalyze jokes. And speaking of YouTube only ever getting along, did anybody catch Stavi going on Hasan Piker's stream? That was interesting, especially because Hasan Piker brought up Osmongold. Now, Osmongold says some pretty crazy shit, but is a fun follow, fun person to watch, fun streamer. I really, truly admire the way he's able to just, like, process what the chat is saying and then, like, just give his cursory response to it and then, like, keep it moving. Yeah, the dude's a pro. Gotta give it up. That said, he says some pretty insane stuff, some of which I'm like, hey, good point. Haven't heard that before. And some of it I'm like, holy shit, bro. Like, camps? Labor camps, really? And this labor camps thing that he brought up, well, I wasn't alone in finding to be a bit obtuse. Unfortunately, my bedfellows in these findings are Hasan Piker, who's being investigated by the federal government for his trip to Cuba. We joked about that here. And then, of course, one of my biggest friends of the show of all time, Stavros Halkias. And so Stavros goes on Hasan, and Hasan brings up this Osmongold drama. And Stavi kicks in the roast mode. Hey, I'm a comedian. I do roast stuff. I'm gonna tell you. And what does he go for immediately? Osmongold's looks. Sure, he looks a little bit like Greasy Skeletor. But coming from Stavi, this motherfucker looks like Heidi Klum. Circa 2010 or something, I don't know. I just find it so funny that his brilliant comedic mind was it was limited only to such machinations as, you really think this dude gets any pussy? This dude's not getting his dick wet. He's not getting his dick sucked. It cracks me up every time. I think the house of cards that is like Stavi's infallibility is beginning to topple. And I think where that's going to begin is him continuing to play into the, like, I'm a leftist, or I'm a communist, and there shouldn't be any police, but also no guns, and I hate dogs. By the way, Hasan is I shocked my beautiful little dog Kaya with a shock collar on fucking stream. Same dude. Seemed to be some, you can't even call them strange bedfellows. Their opinions really seemingly align, especially on the important things I've just mentioned. Anyway, did you see that? Did you catch that? It's funny to watch Stavi kind of unraveling, you know. And, you know, whence it came. It's good recycling. We can get a lot of thread out of that unravelment. Okay, so next here on my show notes list, I have pulled up, because last week when we covered Big J, he was on the bonfire. He was talking about how DL Hughley, it's not going to make any sense to you. It's a funny joke. It's a funny reference. But how DL Hughley, he was saying Hughley on the bonfire, whatever, implied loosely, or at least DL Hughley's editor implied loosely, that Big J was a Nazi. They were talking about, you know, DL Hughley was like, as soon as I saw who was on the dais, I was like, I'm not trying to go up and write jokes with a bunch of Nazis. And pretty much right when he said Nazis, he puts up Big J's picture, which, okay, fine. So Big J goes on the bonfire and he's like, fuck you, DL Hughley. Like, what the fuck? I catch a stray out of nowhere for this? Okay. Like, so the beef is beginning. And then Big J is like, we don't have time to talk about it here on the bonfire, but I'm about to go to Skanks where I'm gonna fucking talk about it. And I get stoked. And then I see that episode comes out and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. So I listen to like an hour and 10 minutes of Legion of Skanks, which might be a Druid record. A DR. Anyway. So I watch and then it happens and I'm like, oh, the DL Hughley drama, cool. We're going to cover this on Critical Leaks because no one else in the space is covering it except for Fried Plantain, and I'm not certain that is a person yet. Shout out Fried Plantain for remaining in the uncanny valley. So I put the link on my show notes. I get some time codes. I go, okay, cool, we'll cover it. It'll be like the first thing we cover. It'll be a good little, continuation of the story. Well, today I go to pull it up, and what do I see? This video has been removed for violating YouTube's terms of service. So I'm like, oh, fuck, what? So then I get on the YouTubes, and I'm like, I look for the episode, and the episode is there. But I go to check out the episode, and I look for the section that says DL Hughley, and that fucking thing is gone. And I go down to the comments, and there are only a few people asking about it, and they're like, wow, this episode's like 20 minutes shorter than usual. Like, why is this a re-upload? Why is this not on the usual day? And then I remembered that on Legion of Skanks, they love to say Redact's least favorite words. They love to say the words that have absolutely no place in comedy. Virtue acknowledged, Redact. However, on Legion of Skanks, they don't subscribe to that particular sentiment. They say it. And they'll drop it with a hard OT and a hard Echo Romeo. Echo Romeo. Echo Romeo being ER in the phonetic alphabet. And then I saw in the comments that somebody said, yeah, I mean, they did drop a pretty hard ER. And then I remembered that there was a loud bleep in the middle of that section. And everyone kind of went, oh! And then the skanks guys all laughed. And I'm pretty sure someone said the N-word during the call-out of DL Hughley for calling Big Jay Oakerson a Nazi. Not a good look. I mean, it's not a one-for-one, you know. It's Jabba's palace, not the Death Star, but still antagonistic, right? Not a good look, LOS. They bleeped it, which I find interesting, but here's the thing. I don't know if they're going to repost it somehow with more bleeps or something, but just in case, I'll let you know how it went. Not great. Not great. For a guy who does crowd work, like is famous for his crowd work, has 2 crowd work specials from the last 2 years. You'd think he'd be a little lighter on his feet for this. I just don't think it didn't feel like his heart was in it. He wasn't in the flow state or whatever. Like I'm sure he gets in on stage when he's like, what do you do for sex? That kind of thing. But he was like, fucking asshole. You call me a fucking Nazi, you prick, you fucking asshole. He just really didn't have much. You could tell he had a little bit of anger in it, but not really any energy, not really any actual focus. So I thought that was quite interesting. I had it all ready to go, and yet it is gone. I don't know what this... Hold on, sorry. I'm looking at my show notes here. Reload. Okay, so here in the description, this is why I left this up. It is now. Had to remove a segment because it violated YouTube's community guidelines. I should do this as Lewis. Here's the re-upload. Had to remove here's the re-uploaded episode. To watch every episode uncensored and ad-free, go to gasdigital.com. Also, check out Body Brain Coffee, and now Body Brain Coffee Creamer. I made up the last part. That one's for free, Louie. Louie. Anyway, so that's all we got. That's all we get to hear. I'll keep you posted on this drama. Someone tell Fried Plantain that they're missing a part of the story here on the beef. I won't do it because I am more of a Act 1 iRobot Will Smith. Not so much an Act 3 iRobot Will Smith, but I'm very much an Act 1 iRobot Will Smith. Anyway, now we're going to check out Mark Norman, Sam Morril on the We Might Be Drunk podcast. We might be drunk. Be drunk. We're drunk. It's my cover. I contributed. I found this short. I was allowing myself to skip merrily, to frolic through the fields of YouTube shorts blissfully and in an absolute brain rot black hole. Take the second one. And I see this. Speaks for itself, so let's hear from the boys here.
What do you think? We had a rough one with him.
It was a rough.
Said Al Franken, what do you think? We had a rough one with him.
It was a tough episode.
You
talked to Franken?
Yeah, we had him on.
Guest, yeah.
So they are talking to Kevin Nealon. He is so famous. I feel so bad that I'm only pretty sure that I'm right. Kevin Nealon. SNL alum. So too is Al Franken, which is why they decided to ask about it. But to what end?
Why was that tough?
He goes, why was that tough? Kung Pao, enter the fist. I think that's Kevin Nealon. Right, we gotta look this up. I feel terrible. I'm so sorry, Kevin, if in fact that was your name. Who was the lead in Kung Pao? Come on, Kevin. What the fuck? It's not even him, really? Steve Oedekerk? Really? This whole time? Well, I've got egg on my face. See, I can call myself out too. Shut up!
You both did the same thing.
So he asks him, why was it bad? And they go, and he says, why was it tough? And Sam goes,
Why is anything tough?
why is anything tough?
You don't vibe.
You just don't vibe.
Really?
Yeah. Didn't like the humor.
Didn't like our vibe. Didn't, Really? It's considered the worst episode of all time.
And so you know what I did? I went and found the damn thing. And that's what we're going to check out next. I haven't watched any of this. I was just like, what a fun treat this will be for CTE. So I'm here as your podcast sitter. Shout out DC, shout out Elephant Graveyard. I'm here as your podcast sitter. And we're staying up late and eating all the Mountain Dew.
Just a heads up, this episode, it's a little weird.
Cool. That's what we're counting on, boyos.
Weird app, not our best. Kooky guest. We didn't know what the hell was going on.
Weird app, not our best. Kooky guest, we might be drunk.
Going on, but good luck with it. We tried.
We tried.
We're making this thick. We got Mio here.
Hey, folks, we might be drunk. We're here. This is it. Oh, shoot. Maybe I jumped the gun here. I think they like...
I hope they don't get me for that. Guys, please be cool. Please be cool about this. It's comedy commentary. Everyone does comedy commentary now. There's like 1,000 of us. That's too much. I've gone too far. Gonna get a little jittery, a little antsy here. Finished up my Mio. This is the acai berry. Of course, I used to call it the word I can't pronounce berry.
All the fun. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Because I want to talk into the...
Oh, God. So, side story. Little fun lore. In 7th grade, I got on the bus the first day. And I was way out in the sticks. So, as you've heard me say before, I was the first one to get on the bus in the morning and the last one to get off at night, which means I had about an hour bus ride at the beginning and the end of my day. Cool. So, right after I get picked up, we go down the old Marsh Road a little bit. And we pick up this weird-looking kid. And he's kind of looking around at everyone when he gets on. And then my asshole neighbor, who was always a total prick to me, little Napoleonic syndrome type guy, bullied the shit out of me when we were kids. Probably a big part of why I am this way now. No, but so the weird kid's walking up. And I'd never seen this kid before. It was 7th grade, so middle school, you go to a new school, it's a whole thing, so. This asshole neighbor of mine trips this new kid. This kid fucking eats him. Bam! Falls face first in the aisle. Everybody cracks the fuck up. He stands up like, oh shit, like, fuck, and kind of keeps his head down as he's walking back. And I go, hey man, come sit next to me. And he sits down and I go, fuck that guy. Dude's always a fucking prick to me, bro. Like, it's not you. That guy fucking sucks. Hi, my name's Druid. Baby Druid, I went by at that time. Hi, my name's Baby Druid. And he says, hi, my name's Aaron. Call back, right? Cohesiveness to my story. He says, my name's Aaron. I was like, oh, it's nice to meet you. And Aaron, he reaches into his backpack. Pulls out this bag that's got this like greenish powder in it, like very light, very white, pale green powder. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? We're 13. My head doesn't go to drugs. It would now. I'd be like, I haven't seen that shade of powder before. Now, at this time at 13, I was like, that's interesting. And before I could ask him what it is, he looks at me and goes, do you want to try something I made? It's really sour. It was Kool-Aid and sugar in a bag. And you could just, like, take scoops of it. And it was really, really tart, but, like, kind of sweet. And we ended up selling it. I took a taste of it. I was like, we can sell this. And a friendship was born. And this Mio right here tastes very much like the product we called Sugar Supreme Salad. Oh, makes me feel young.
Mike,
that would help.
Let me explain my years in show business.
We got Al Franken, everybody.
It's Al Franken.
Al Franken.
Good to have you, Big Al.
Our first senator ever.
Hey!
Really?
Well, we had Orrin Hatch.
Yeah.
Orrin Hatch that one time.
Yeah, Orrin. Not funny.
Al Franken is a senator? Or a congressman or something? Yes, Al Franken was a United States senator representing Minnesota. Favorite state this year. A former comedian and writer, he was elected in 2008, feeling great, as a Democrat and served from July 2009 until he resigned in 2018, following allegations of sexual misconduct. Oh shit, we stumbled on a Me Too. We gotta look it up. What are the Al Franken allegations? Al, you naughty boy. In late 2017, former Minnesota Senator Al Franken faced multiple allegations of sexual misconduct and inappropriate behavior. That's an important distinction, which ultimately led to his resignation from the U.S. Senate in 2018. The initial accusation starts on the 2006 USO tour. The first public allegation came from radio host Leanne Tweeden. Wait, the Leanne Tweeden? I'm kidding. Who claimed that during a 2006 USO tour, prior to his Senate career, Al Franken aggressively kissed her without consent during a rehearsal for a comedy skit. Ooh, that's pretty Kellenic of you, dude. That's Kellenic, and people cannot stop talking about how much they hate that guy. He needs to stop. We're not getting into Callan stuff today, but we're getting into Callan adjacent things in that we're talking about sexual allegations. Anyway, he's also got allegations of unwanted touching and groping, which I suppose is the evolution, the evolved form of unwanted touching. Following Tweeden's allegations, 7 other women came forward with similar stories. These women alleged that Franken touched or groped their buttocks or breasts without their consent. Primarily during photo opportunities at political events, state affairs, or while entertaining the troops overseas. Al's responses for this: he issued apologies for the photograph and acknowledged that he had made some women feel uncomfortable. Though he disputed the specific versions of events in several of the allegations. Despite initially calling for a Senate Ethics Committee investigation, he resigned in early January 2018, facing immense pressure and demands for his resignation from dozens of his Democratic colleagues. In later interviews, Franken expressed deep regret for resigning. Paints a picture. I don't know. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. So, succumbs to peer pressure, has sexual misconduct allegations and is kind of a sore loser for being like, I shouldn't have quit. I should have stuck it to those lips. In the face of those allegations of rape. Well, I'm sorry, of grope. Of grope and of aggressive kiss. I guess there is an important distinction there, but like, I guess, yeah, the allegation sounds a little less hefty if you're like, he kissed me he passively kissed me. Sort of walking by and kind of did one of these. Aggressive kissing. It's not funny. I'm not, shout out to the victims. I feel bad. I'm not making light of your experience. I'm just trying to keep it light in general here while we figure out who this Al Franken guy is.
No. Not a funny guy.
If you need to know, Orrin Hatch not funny.
Not a lot of
Apparently, Orrin Hatch isn't funny.
senators or politicians with comedy backgrounds.
This is so crazy common. Now, Al Franken, of course, has had a background in comedy first. He was on SNL before he became a senator in 2008. He was like an late 90s, early 2000s SNL guy, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. Point being, he was already in comedy before he went on to become a senator, and then the allegations came out. But even still, there's just a bad, it's negative aura, as they would say, I think. There's just a weird taste in my mouth when I hear comedians trying to like help these allegation guys sort of whitewash their reputations. I mean, to begin listing it is crazy, but like Calandalia Brand, Franken, the list it seriously goes on. In fact, I might make a list of all of the the people with allegations who have gone on these comedy podcasts. And similar to my Australian, you can't name your Australian baby this name list, I might just read them all off in rapid fire. Carlin style.
He actually, what was funny about him, he writes songs, or did. He's gone, Orrin.
Franken, you sound a little bit like Tom Waits doing a character. Like if Tom Waits was into cartoons.
Yeah.
But he wrote songs, and when I first got to the Senate, I thought I'd put it there. I'd visit other senators to get to know them, and he played me a couple of the songs he wrote, and they weren't bad. And he didn't write the music; he wrote the lyrics.
Oh, that's always great. I wonder what Weird Al's take on AI is. That's got to be an interesting and nuanced opinion, I'm sure. I'm sure he's thought it through. Because isn't the big thing, I mean, other than the environmental concerns, which I find quite legitimate, but is it like the big thing, like, well, it's just stealing people's work and like reorganizing it, right? Well, what's El Estiperio Siberiano, Suno is stealing until no one's original. He's got some pretty fire shirts, a lot of wordplay on those shirts. Shout out to El Estipario Siberiano, I think is your name. One of the most impressive drummers you're ever going to see. But why am I talking about good drummers? I have no idea. Let's get back to Al Franken on We Might Be Drunk.
Pull it up.
So I told him, I said, I have a song that I need something in it. And it was...
Oh, Weird Al. So the whole thing is like stealing, but that was also what everyone hated about Weird Al in the 90s, was he was like stealing people's music. I mean, I think we already know what Weird Al's opinions are on AI, but it would be interesting. It'd be cool to hear if he had some kind of nuance to it. A lot of artists are staunchly anti-AI. I am a little bit, I guess you could call it more apathetic. Because, like, I literally lost jobs to it. I was a freelance composer, and I was writing for YouTube channels, writing scripts for YouTube channels when AI took over. And people were like, oh, we're ending the channel. I'm so sorry, mate. You know, it's really been great working with you. It's just the computer does it for free now. Like, It's not what they said. They were super sweet about it, and I didn't connect the dots at the time. But looking back, the timing is at best worthy of piquing one's interest.
But
yeah, I don't know. I think I put the video out on this channel. I might have done it on Druid the Punk. But I did a whole little like back and forth, you know, AI music isn't real or whatever. And anyway, go check that out.
The Country West.
I think it's literally called AI music isn't real.
Duet. We stayed together for the kids.
You should be singing country western songs, Grandpa Franken.
Was what we thought we had to do.
There's a demographic of people who don't care a whole lot about a whole lot regarding, you know, we'll say this, seemingly quite adept at practicing death of the artist.
Wow. Sounds like my
You were
dad.
cold as a sliced bit. Anyway, so because he had written this country thing, and then we ended up writing a verse together. It wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But still, it was bonding.
Right.
He was on the Judiciary Committee, which I was on, and that helped that much.
And what's scarier, doing new jokes or being...
We're going to jump, let's go 5 minutes in. I don't want to miss the initial. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to scan here. I'm going to look for their body language. YouTube's taught me a lot. Okay, they're starting to get a little bit more self-comforting here.
Wow. And then the World War III thing was not...
Excuse me. Okay, actually, they seem pretty chill, but we're at 11 minutes right now.
Like a new update. It was just... It was a newscast the night of the day of World War III. So it was like tragedy, death, catastrophe. Highlight tonight's news after this message. You know?
Okay. Very Xarian of you. Though I think this guy's more of like an exhumer. No.
They still do commercial parodies? Because now every commercial I see, I'm like, that's Cecily Strong. They're in like too many real commercials to do
good point.
Commercial parodies now. I
Never
feel
thought about that.
Not only commercial parodies, it's just they've like fully just embraced the fact. Like it used to be, I think it was like a Carlin bit, but it used to be like a common thing that take this cold medication. Side effects include heart attack, stroke, and death. It's like, oh, that's so funny. Why'd you take medicine for heartburn that can kill you? Except now it's just very real, and they like have to read the side effects slowly. So try it with new Guazelpta. Guazelpta Meca. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection, which is just good advice in general, whether you're taking Guazelpta or not.
They do both.
They do both.
Your doctor should know if you... How do you know you have a parasitic infection if your doctor isn't aware of it? Thank you. It's a new bit I'm working on.
Yeah.
My tight 5.
But the ones that are real...
Why don't they make the whole plane out the black box?
Whoa.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Look at those shoulders.
Yeah, I think that's...
Great jawline.
So they're playing some old SNL clips. Yeah, Franken was young. I think he was like a 90s guy. What was his big sketch? He did kind of a church lady-esque thing where he would sort of do one of these kind of ladies. I think it was like a nun. I could picture Al Franken in a nun's uniform. What do you call that? A shawl? With Al Franken dressed as a woman. That's what's coming up first. Was it a nun? No, because that was church lady I'm thinking of. Fuck. It was a Weekend Update segment featuring his character Jack Van Ark. Holy fuck! Never mind, it was the 1979 sketch. So this Al Franken goes way back. I added an H there for dramatic effect. Okay, let's go through their first ads here. We're jumping to 45 minutes. Seem to still be having fun. Kind of laughing along. Seems to be a lot of watching SNL bits. Okay.
Rose Guard. Billy the Bush Dog bringing in crack pipe from the South Lawn. It's bad. And to close down an ecstasy factory in the Lincoln Bed.
We're going to keep letting it play. Come on, gentlemen.
Get the bag of cocaine.
I was promised the worst episode ever.
I don't remember exactly.
Maybe this is the worst episode ever. It's just with We Might Be Drunk. It's hard to tell. Could be it.
Exactly, obviously.
It feels like it's coming up.
Tell our kids that it's bad.
Kind of been listening to the Dana Carvey, David Spade podcast. It's super interesting, super cool and interesting. I think part of the problem, it might be the same thing with the Always Sunny podcast, both of which you think, like, that's a gimme. I should definitely just listen to those. Those should be on my list of, like, that's one. I think they're too well media trained for it to be all that interesting. The thing about these comedians, especially the way it used to be, is they didn't really, they underestimated the internet sleuths. And so they would just say some crazy ass shit, and then they'd get, called for it, and now they've kind of, in a sort of de facto way, they've been educated in public relations, media training. But these old actors, these, the people, the celebrities of yesteryear, they're good. They kind of have this old school mentality of, we're on the microphone, we got to represent our show, we got to represent ourselves, we got to represent our studio properly. I'm not trying to catch a lawsuit or be labeled hard to work with, like Dan Harmon. Shout out. Yeah, anyway, so I think maybe that's why, because they're a little too clean, they're a little too... Yes, quite of course. Cheers and thank you.
He has no inhibition. He's just going. When you're killing on stage, you're still, all right, here's my next joke. Here comes a line. You're still in the moment.
I like that he's talking about inhibition, like it's inhibit. No, inhibition. I'm not being inhibited.
Working. He feels like he's having fun.
Inhibitions.
And still killing.
Well, that's
fun with words.
Part of his charm. He was having fun, and also, you like that.
You guys are being too cozy. I was promised worst ep ever. We're an hour in. Let's hear it.
Ah,
he's back in.
Yeah.
No, but
I wouldn't call him that.
No.
Ooh, we're starting to get some pushback from Senator Franken. Al, short for Allegations Franken.
I thought the book was a travesty.
How am I
it was
best
like
work?
Warren said, it was
at least I know it's
written by a guy who didn't understand anything about popular culture and Belushi's place in it. And he said, this Warren said, it was like he had written a sentence that said, the Beatles, a popular musical group in the 60s. And yeah, it was, I was very offended by that book. Because he's just a brilliant performer.
Sure.
None of that is captured. It was just all, they were from the same town in Chicago. I can't remember the name of the town, but it was almost like him saying, I'm the best guy from this town. I had the feel of it. It was a mean thing to say.
He's a cunt of an author.
What's like what?
There you go.
Franken got a little stiff at the old C word.
Third one I got in.
Yeah.
He didn't stop yet.
Norman likes this, so credit where credit is due. There have been many, 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 many clips where Mark Norman is on a podcast, starts to get kind of bored, and he starts acting out. He's not getting enough attention at home, and so he's acting out when he goes to work. And then he'll do or say some crazy shit, he knew David Cross was gonna get pissed off at that toot of his, and he did it. He was burping into the mic. He does these little things where if it's not engaging, or I think it's genuinely just he's bored. And it's he kind of reverts to that antagonistic pest comedian type, which I do actually truly enjoy. He doesn't do it often, But we'll add that to the list of things I appreciate about Mark Norman. One of which is, of course, his tweets. I like that he just keeps it old school, just funny little one-liners. And I'll just... You'll be watching someone get curb stomped and then watching footage of people being gunned down in Iran, and then it's like, Mark Norman's like, stepdad, more like faux pas. Funny stuff. So I like that, and also I like that he's a little bit antagonist. He's a bit of an anti-hero. I like that in him. And that is the two things.
And that one. He's back in.
Yeah.
No, but
I wouldn't call him that.
No.
Great work.
A cunt author, Al Franken's like, I wouldn't call him a cunt. We know. I would kill to hear you use the C word, Mr. Franken.
Call back, Al. Come on.
I didn't like
the book was cunty.
There we
Okay, I guess the C word is a callback of sorts.
go.
There we go. All right, cunty book.
That's a good adjective.
No, it was a...
Okay. A bit of a teacher hanging out with the students vibe here. That's a good adjective. It is.
It was a special time at that cast, and I do think about sometimes as comics, like this podcast started because Mark and I used to get drunk all the time together. We were young road comics, and then
Okay.
slowly
Used to.
well, we built the show around it. But
True.
When we were young comics,
It's so funny how stiff these two get. Mark kind of gets stiff and then resents that stiffness within himself and will start doing his act out thing when there's like celebrity guests or if he feels disrespected by the celebrity, which is also really funny. Sam is a little bit more of a teacher's pet. Sam's a little bit more of like trying to keep it nice. I think Sam had big like Hollywood aspirations at one point. I don't know Sam very well at all. But it is interesting when someone who has like traditional Hollywood-esque silver screen success or like was on SNL or like on some cool comedy movie or whatever, some cultish following. Sam does this like, I'm a good boy thing, like, give me an attaboy. He's like, well, I just noticed it, and he'll try to like relate to them super hard, but in a way that comes off more like desperate than like relatable. IMO. It's just funny to watch, especially because at this point in time they have 243,000 subscribers, which sitting at the big 4 or 5, it seems, that's obviously an astronomical amount of people. But when you compare it to some of their peers, it's not top tier necessarily. But I mean, Sam's very famous in his own world. So I don't think, Sam, you don't need to keep sucking up to these guys. Take a page out of Mark Norman's book and just, do something gross or say something like, I don't want to call it offensive. Say something crass. He won't, though. He's a little gentleman. A little cutie gentleman boy.
you can get hammered every night, and then
Right.
we start going on the road, and we'd see each other, I don't know, maybe 2 days a week, maybe 1 day a week, and we'd try to make that one night count. We'd say, hey, let's hang, and then before we know it, it's 5 a.m., and we keep saying, one more drink, 6, 7
We've got a problem.
a.m.
The best one, though, is that's Norm Macdonald. The alcoholism, if alcoholism is a disease, it's definitely the best one.
Turned into a podcast. Oh, look at us.
Jeez, look
your
at
wedding, buddy.
I am
look at
so
us.
banged up right there.
I'm hurting too.
I look like I'm in blackface.
Mickey
Jesus.
Mantle regretted drinking as much as he did.
He did.
Oh, is that right? Well, everybody says that after. During.
Yeah,
It was a
but
blast.
it was interesting. He said,
Mark, you can't. I guess you can regret doing something, but not really. You're regretting having chosen to do the thing. You're not regretting something in real time. It's my hot take.
Pete Rose took care of himself. I mean, all these guys that had these careers.
So 536.
So Al is deteriorating. You can see him. He's kind of leaning on the couch a little more. He's a little bit, okay, interesting. Like, he's getting a bit of the Normanism on him, where he's like, "Oh, is this guy fucking with me? What is this? Are you do I have to say the N-word like David Cross?"
Home runs with a drinking problem, though, is pretty damn cool.
Well, that's a functioning alcoholic.
You know,
I had to look up at my monitor to be like, "How's my lighting today?" Their lighting is trash, is why.
Don't do this, but because it's not that great. But some of the interviews he did on Letterman toward the end of his career about just getting so fucking wasted and being at somebody's farm and
Drunk on a farm was good times.
wasted, and then
should have never fucked that cow.
Oh, we're talking King Minos or Queen Pasiphae. I've only seen it in writing.
driven to the ballpark
We have Minos, King Minos, the Minotaur,
and just falling asleep in
the bestiality to this bitch. So this queen, King Minos' wife, when King Minos was busy dealing with wars that were important to maintain their trade routes, well, she got a little lonely. And King Minos at one point had begged Poseidon to send him a bull from the ocean to show that he had ascended to kinghood, that he was, supposed to be that rightful king. Poseidon does so. Poseidon sends the bull out onto the beach, and King Minos collects it, and it is the most magnificent white bull he has ever seen. But he promised during that prayer that he would slaughter the bull and send it back to Poseidon. But King Minos didn't want to get rid of this bull. This bull was hot, and I mean hot. And so he hangs onto the bull, slaughters one of his other pale cows, sends that thing to Poseidon. Figures Poseidon's got enough going on, he's not gonna notice. So then he starts these wars, he's enjoying his kinghood, he's got his wife back home, and she's being loyal to him, right? Doing wife stuff, not being a jazz lean. Right, boys? She's doing wife stuff. Or is she? Because through her loneliness, she began to... her eye was caught by a quite striking specimen. None other than that goddamn bull. But this bull is a decent bull. This bull is of Poseidon. This bull doesn't want to, facilitate the cheating of a queen. Doesn't want to facilitate the affair of a queen. Probably. Or it just knows that that's people and you don't fuck people if you're a fucking bull. But this queen, she doesn't care. So she gets Daedalus to make her a fake cow. And she's like, give it hips, Daedalus. I want this cow's udders to swang, big naturals. And so she climbs inside this mechanical cow and presents the cow to this fantastic looking white bull. And this bull, well, he answers the call of what he thinks is nature. And the child brought from this unholy union was the Minotaur. So, don't fuck cows. I don't remember how I got into that. I just read about that in Hero of a Thousand Faces this morning. Thought I'd share.
in the dugout and being, you're going to get to the ballpark and just falling asleep in the dugout and being, you're going to get up and then hitting a home run over the center field in Yankee Stadium.
Okay, I hate to do another tangent, but I don't. It's what I do here. I heard Dan Soder talking about this the other day, maybe a couple weeks ago at this point, but he's talking about Hunter S. Thompson. And he's like, I hate how everyone, thinks that it was all about the drugs with Hunter S. Thompson. I personally think he would have, I think it was with Ronan. I personally think he'd be a way better writer if he wouldn't have been into all the drugs and all the alcohol. And Ronan heartily agrees. And I've heard this brought up with people like Jim Morrison before, where it's like, oh, can you imagine how good Jim Morrison would have been without all the drugs and alcohol ruining his focus in his life? But in both cases, what in the fuck would they be writing about? Sober old man goes to Las Vegas and has a moderately okay time. Lost a little money, but has enough to get home. Yeah, it would just be called the Puerto Rico Diaries. I just went there and wasn't just hanging out. It's like I'm not saying that their brains wouldn't function a little sharper. I'm saying they wouldn't be nearly the interesting characters which has made them the legends that they remain to be to this day. Jim Morrison was never gonna be John Lennon, bro. He was a character, and a part of his fucking character, a part of what drew everyone to the Lizard King, was that he was the fucking Lizard King, bro. I hate this whole, this longing, this straight edge tendency to be like, oh, all these artists, can you imagine how great they'd be if they were just had to go to AA like me? That's cope. What you're doing is cope. You miss when you used to allow yourself to go drink, and now you're going, yeah, but I'm so much better now. Maybe you're better, but are you interesting?
Wow.
See, to me, that's a tale of an incredible functioning alcoholic.
Yes,
right
that's a win.
Yes and no. I mean, but his career was shorter than it needed to be.
No, I mean,
Sure.
for sure.
Oh, yeah, damn. We all missed out on those sad years that Tiger Woods is going through right now. It's just like, oh, yeah, Tiger Woods came in last at the last tournament he played in. We really missed out on the Mickey Mantles coming in last years. Damn it. If only he'd have been able to stick it out for long enough to hit his retirement. Wouldn't that be more fun to talk about?
Sure. We don't need to talk about real
Like,
drugs.
if he was my brother, I would want that for him, but as someone who's consuming his baseball or consuming his music or consuming his writing, I'm glad that that's part of the sacrifice that the artist is making for us. They're going there so you don't have to, bro. Stop wishing Hunter S. Thompson was sober.
Drinking on this, but this is becoming a buzzkill right
Oh,
here.
yeah. I mean, by the way, don't let the show suggest to you that it's okay if you have a drinking problem.
You put
Oh, shit, we got to the meat of it here. Now, this might sound like nothing to you, but if the sun is up and you and your friend are drinking hard liquor, maybe even if it's your own liquor, but you're drinking hard liquor, and a motherfucker comes in and starts talking about drinking problems, you're like, this guy sucks. And if you're Mark Norman and someone comes in and starts talking about drinking problems when you're drinking your own whiskey when the sun is up, I imagine you start acting out.
put the Al and Alan on.
Cut to Mark and I in 20 years in this podcast.
I think
I made every
Put the Al and Alan on. It's funny. I like allegations better.
mistake a man can make.
That's my one regret. Was drinking too much.
I think probably you should save that little clip with me. Your audience, the most important thing ever said.
You got it.
Don't
On
drink.
your, on your pod.
Don't you guys all want to be sober so you can live to be old and boring like Al Franken?
I really hope Al gets wasted here now.
Oh, that'd be
awesome.
nice.
He's like,
I
don't.
get a little tipsy very easily.
Really?
Oh,
I don't
okay.
Let's do shots. Bodega Cat shots.
I don't like hard liquor. I don't. I just don't.
You're a beer guy.
I drink beers occasionally. I'll drink a glass of wine occasionally. But I don't drink. I don't.
Fun, Al.
I don't get
You
drunk.
seem healthy. You look
Yeah,
good.
you look good.
No, you don't!
Full head of hair.
Actually, if he was on SNL in 1979, he looks fucking great.
Yes. All due to not drinking.
Full head of hair.
You look good, you got a whole lot of hair, and Al, who isn't taking the catch and release. He's not the fish who's being let back in the water and is now swimming off. He's just hanging out in the hands of the confused angler who's like, I don't want to eat you. Go back home. You're making my hands stink. It's like a... Al's like, nah, I'm gonna hang out right here. I don't care if it's uncomfortable. In my years, I've learned it's important to be uncomfortable every now and again.
I don't get
You
drunk.
seem healthy. You look good.
Yeah, you look good. Full head of hair.
Yes, all due to not drinking. I'm pretty good. I had back surgery 5 weeks ago.
Hey, so
Say thank you, yo bitch. Sorry, I'm trying to not call names as much. It's my go-to because I think it's always funny, but we gotta say that, you know.
but hey,
Did you? No, I had.
We want it to be the bear horn. Don't worry, I'm not gonna start talking about bears again, even though it was a perfect metaphor at the time.
Like an ablation. I had in my neck.
I had a real,
Yeah.
but I'm good. It was a great.
You know what no one wants to hear when they're like, "Oh, I just had surgery." Him too. You guys, why don't you compare and contrast your struggles and your journey through the woes of health together? No one's commiserating there. They're going, well, this was kind of my moment to be the surgery guy. I was going to be the I had surgery guy. Mine was actually a real one, which he starts to say here.
Ablation. I had in my neck.
I had a real,
Yeah.
but I'm good. It was
I love this.
a great.
I wish all podcasts were like this. Comedians, please just start being worse again. You don't have to. No, you're being boring. Stop being sober, Hunter S. Thompson. We're watching you because you're the wild ones, right? You're the last cowboys of free speech or whatever. Like, make people feel weird. Scare the celebrities instead of just being like, oh, I'm not going to name any names, but stop being media trained. You're boring. You guys aren't going to, on the same sterile palette, be able to compete with people like Dana Carvey and David Spade and Always Sunny in Philadelphia because they're too clean. They're too sterile. From you guys, we want a little bit of zhuzh. We want a little chaos in here. I want you to be fighting these fucking people, pissing them off like you're doing to Al Franken right now. And you can kind of see, and I got a funny little freeze frame of Mark, but he's kind of got one arm up on the couch, and he's sort of looking over at Al, and you, even with his eyes closed, he's like mid like picture face where his eyes are closed, and he's like half smile. Even in that, I can see in his body language that he's kind of doing one of these like, this motherfucker.
I mean,
carrying SNL for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm good. It was a great.
I mean,
Carrying.
Actually, no, I was wrong. Mark's still trying to be nice. Because Al Franken's like, no, I had a real surgery 5 weeks ago. And Mark's like, it's from carrying SNL for 10 years. Which is really kind, very hostly.
SNL for 10 years. Never mind. All right, sorry.
This episode's had more. This episode's had more huns than we've ever had.
It is getting tense in there.
You were in Trading Places, I remember. You little cameo, remember
Is that right?
Yeah, I
That's
do
pretty
remember
cool.
that. Yeah.
Wow, that was very.
Do you remember that? Yeah, I do remember that. What did you boys say to Mr. Franken?
Chris Farley.
Tom.
Ah,
Yeah, I remember that.
That was pretty cool. I mean, that was a pretty great scene, though. You're in the end of the movie, the gorilla. That was pretty
Well,
cool.
there's the
Oh,
gorilla
yeah,
scene,
there
and
is.
then there's
Look at
the
that.
scene.
Oh, yeah, the gorilla scene. I have seen this. I can't remember. Was he like... Did he get frankened by the gorilla? Was he gross?
In
Allegedly gross.
where we come in there with
That's
Eddie
great.
and Danny, and was Eddie and Danny in that?
yeah.
Okay.
Gee, which was that character actor who was so great? And
Denholm Elliott.
no, Denholm Elliott was a different
He was the butler.
character. Yeah, he was a butler.
Al, why are you doing this? Why are you out here, Al? Al, what about this seemed like it was the right move? Career? Are you putting out a special soon? You tried to go on JRE, but he didn't want to have you because he sees you as a leftist? Even though he's center left. I don't know that he's made that claim recently. I just heard Good Rant say it last night. But Al, why are you here? Right? Like, I just see, it seems so much to me like this is, he clearly didn't do his homework. Because otherwise, like, he's a comedian, right? He'd know he's not a stand-up guy, and he's old, but, like, you know, he'd know they're playing around. Look at Harlan. Harlan's 1,000. It's like, come on, Al. Why did you go on We Might Be Drunk to share your it's okay to be sober in your 80s sentiment? Fuck you, man.
Damn, he was funny.
Yeah.
You're killing the buzz for everybody. But actually, thank you, man, because you're killing the buzz for everyone, which, for us, elevates the buzz.
What about, were they cool to work with, Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy?
Oh, yeah.
Was it cool to work with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy? What do you expect him to say here? No, actually, Dan Aykroyd was a heroin addict at the time, and Eddie Murphy slapped me in the penis. Of course they're going to go, these legends, yeah, they're fantastic. It's not even a matter of, like, beef. It's just like, you wouldn't, I don't know. Sam's fishing. He's being a good boy. This is awkward. So, you were on that. You remember that? Yeah, I remember that. Right. Was it fun to be a famous comedian?
But we just had a couple scenes, and one was with him, and so mainly we were just in a trailer waiting for our scene.
Of course.
You know, and I was Stone Baggage Handler 1, and Tom was Stone Baggage Handler 2. We smoke a joint in it, and later they figured out that Eddie should smoke a joint, so they took that scene out, so we were just really just stupid.
Oh, I see. So his character was... That is actually some interesting insight. His character was supposed to be high, but instead they made him dumb.
Baggage Handler 1, stupid Baggage Handler 2. We were playing very stoned, and...
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
That's another thing that these guys do, is they don't really listen very well. Mark cracks me up, because he'll, like, ask a question, and then halfway through... And I've talked about it on the channel before. He'll ask a question, and then halfway through the answer be like, yeah, totally. I'm sorry, I think he does the thing, which, you know, I recognize it from my own personal journey, so I can talk about it, but you don't realize you're not listening until the person is done, and then you're like, fuck. And when you're a host, trying to listen to people, that can be a bit of a drag. The more times you're like, I'm so sorry, I zoned out. It's like the rudest... It's the rudest you can be while being entirely, I guess, benign, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's the rudest you can be while just being, like, non-malevolent.
You know, I mean, I get people come to me, you know, say to me, usually around Christmas or something, and say how much they love.
It's such a Christmas movie.
All right, we're going to jump up another 15 minutes. We're going to see. We're at 1:15 right now. Or we're at 1:15 now.
Rightfully used as a little bit of a weapon. But no, this is about having this guy who...
we'll go back to figure out what they're talking about. Because we've gotten some pretty good tension, but it's just tension. I don't think there's... I feel like they may have oversold this a little.
Garland.
We've gotten some fun out of it, right? And don't worry, we got some Kill Tony stuff coming up next, which will be a good time.
And after they sat Tony Barrett 9 days before an election, but at that time there was a lot of respect for the legitimacy of the court, and that's what Gore was recognizing. That's it.
They are so bored. They were bored when he was talking about fun facts and comedy movies. Like, you think they're really going to want to be sitting here listening to you talk about Vice President Gore?
That's the Supreme Court.
Do you think this would be happening to this level if Democrats weren't constantly, you know, after...
Trying to tell me I can't say the F slur?
The Trump election, you know, someone like Rachel Maddow, the Steele dossier, like the meddling, do you think it would be going to this level if it weren't for that?
See, Sam's trying to impress him. He knows... only enough to think he knows more than he does. What is that? Dunning-Kruger. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. I'm going to get the actual definition of this pulled up for you because the irony would be too much. What's the Dunning-Kruger Dunning-Kruger effect. I know enough about it to not know I don't know nothing. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias where people with limited knowledge or competence in a specific area greatly overestimate their own skills. Nope, no self-awareness here. Because they lack expertise, they also lack the self-awareness to recognize their own mistakes, leading to an unwarranted self-confidence. Sense of confidence. Sense. Not so confident.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because, I think that the Steele dossier is something obviously used, and I guess in some respect rightfully used as...
This is maybe the most boring thing I've ever heard, man. I was in a dentist's waiting room recently.
A little bit of a weapon, but no, this is about having this guy who, just a pathological liar, a guy who says, I can shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose a vote, and you go, okay, but you'd be prosecuted.
Right. That's true.
I mean, but
do you think you have enough pull to get Hunter Biden on this podcast? I'd like to drink with him.
There'll be a lot of funny stuff after the investigation.
We got a full bar.
Yeah.
We got a full bar.
It'll be like that Bush sketch.
Yeah.
We got a bag of crack. A bag of coke.
Oh, the Bush jokes are funny.
Yeah, they're going to do it. If they have the majority, they're going to do it.
What? How do we get back? I mean, you are a politician that looked to unite and not divide people. How do we get back?
Sam, he's not gonna like you, man. God, this is just... Where the girls get the ick. Sam, you're giving me the ick.
Yes.
Politician that looked...
You were a politician who tried to unite and not divide people. So how do you reconcile that with... Shut
To
the
unite.
fuck up, bro.
And not divide people. How do we get back?
Yes.
Mentality. How do we get back to Mark and I, we're road comics. We take pride in letting everyone in on the joke. That is kind of what we try to do as entertainers, and I think really good politicians have a similar ability, right? I mean, how do we get back to it? Or are we doomed with Twitter and all this, tribalistic
Division.
What makes me pessimistic is just the divide in terms of information and the disinformation that people buy into. And if you're in that universe of information, that division is going to division is going to be there. And
But don't you think the internet is coming in with a little bit of middle ground? Because obviously the
I
Fox
don't want
News
to
and
get
CNN
into
are...
policy here, but Section 230 is something I would change. And that's the thing that says that these, like Facebook, is a platform and can't be responsible for stuff it puts out. But Facebook has their algorithm knows you better than yourself.
They say it knows you're gay before you do.
Yeah, and basically...
That's how I found out.
It basically gives you back what will keep you on Facebook.
Oh, they'll recommend me like a sweater. I'm like, I should get that. And I'm like, wait a second.
Hey, they got you.
It's great.
Love it all, Frank. It's just beginning to crack. Like, wait a minute. If I engage in content, I start to see more of that type of content. Did you know they're capable? He's just discovering algorithms.
Crazy, right?
They do it with
Vote him.
Oh, they're probably right.
Yeah.
You should probably get that.
I'm gonna get.
This is going to be your fearless leader.
Let me get back on real quick.
They know you better than you know.
Bro needs to stop focusing on the chaos of the outside world and focus inward. I've been reading Hero of a Thousand Faces.
You, but what I'm saying is they also like to keep people on and get them agitated so they stay on.
Right.
They know everybody so well. They go, this guy, we feed him this disinformation, he'll get really excited about it and stay on longer. And we sell advertising. That's
It's
what
bad
we do.
news.
And so they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're giving you.
Yeah.
The way you're talking, I'm like, you are a voice that could really do good. And
Samuel, I'm about to put your ass in the hallway, bro. This dude's acting up in the wrongest of ways. I don't want your apple, man. Quit sucking up to the fucking t-shirt, bro.
Part of me.
I just feel like you're a politician who could really make us some difference. Mark Norman, you've got to be disgusted. You hate placation.
Like
or is he the good cop to your fart cop?
You are a voice that
I don't like the F word. That's my F slur.
Could really do good, and part of me thinks like, man, it's a bummer that you're not. Is there any hope you would get back in?
I'm keeping my options open.
Oh, great. He's keeping his options open. I love that he's... And I guess everyone takes compliments differently, you know? It can be hard for some people to accept a compliment. I would do, like, after... If I got done playing shows and people were like, that was so good, I'd be like, thank you, that piano is amazing. Like, I love that instrument. Like, because it can be awkward because you want to be, thank you. Like, and that's what you should do is be like, oh, thank you so much. That rules. That fucking rules. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. But that can be kind of hard to do for some people. And Al Franken takes a really interesting route around saying thank you, wherein he just sort of steps past it. Sam is over here just like scrubbing away, just making sure that ball is washed. And Al Franken is just like, and now I'll bowl.
But it is pretty toxic.
You sound like my ex right now. This is when he says, huh?
Mark didn't think it was that funny. He's just being a bro. Al Franken just stared Sam down for that. Sam's like, you remind me of my ex. And he's just like
my ex right now. This is when he says, huh?
Okay, Sam. Okay. There's more of a callback than like a dig, but Al's taking it a bit as a dig.
You should
I don't
think
know
about
your
it.
ex, but I'm sure that's accurate.
Yeah.
I don't know your ex, but I'm sure that's accurate. Like, okay, so you don't do comedy anymore, then like go on some political podcasts or some shit. Because of what you were doing was trying to curry favor by going on these comedian podcasts as the legend Al Franken and hoping to like rally some votes or something. There's 243K people who now think you're a little bit more insufferable than they did before.
Yeah.
Plus, it does draw some attention to the Al Frankations, the allegations, capital A-L.
But you don't want to go dip your toe back in the...
I don't know. It depends. I mean, I still am
He's keeping his options open, Mark. He just fucking said that.
Minnesotan at heart, and I go back and forth, but I have grandchildren here, so I'm here a lot. And
so he doesn't know. Maybe he wants to be in politics.
and so that's that.
We're going back a little bit. We're jumping ahead, and then let's see. We're going to 125.
Done it.
Yeah.
I get mad. I've done it.
I've all done the phone thing.
I've done the phone thing. One time I did it, and I
hit the guy.
Goes into the gutter and goes down the thing, and it's just the Gen Z person going, my phone. Because I just feel like when people are walking down the street and not looking, I want to go like,
I know.
You know, and
he wants to go like, they're walking down the street and not looking. You want to hit him with a quick elbow strike. Also, Al, you are not the guy. You're not that guy, Al. You're not a bumper. You're a mutterer at best.
I don't. Because
we know.
I wouldn't.
All right.
We know.
We've all done it.
Yeah.
I get mad. I've done it.
You've nudged. Morril, you nudge.
I've all done the phone thing.
I've done the phone thing. One time I did it, and I was looking at my
I don't trust nudgers.
phone, and someone else was looking at their phone, and we collided, and we were both mad at the other person.
You know what? Let's call that it. Let's call that the segment for now. Gentlemen, I don't know. You oversold the stress a little bit, but that doesn't surprise me because comedians are empaths and we're just trying to make people laugh. So why is everyone so mean to us? because people are mean, remember? That's why you're funny. You remember earlier today when I was talking about the DL Hughley, Big Jay Oakerson beef? Well, that all stemmed from the roast of Kevin Hart. The roast of Kevin Hart, the infamous. That which you've heard about almost incessantly from the comedy commentary community. And what I bet they're not going to show you, or maybe they will, and I will be eating crow in the next episode, but what I bet they're not going to show you is Tony Hinchcliffe addresses Chelsea Handler on Kill Tony 769 with Chris O'Connor and Matt Edgar. Let's hear him out. Hi, please don't copyright claim this. I'm going to be playing music. There's going to be commentary I'm providing. It's going to be transformational. This is by no means a replacement for the original.
And all your nicotine worries go away. Zip more. Smoke. We just got in. We're fresh off of Los Angeles live last
So we jumped ahead of their ad break there. They just got in. They're fresh out of Los Angeles.
night.
People are very happy about that. The what?
We just got in. We're fresh off of Los Angeles live last night. The roast of Kevin Hart is something else, huh? It's the first time I've been called a Nazi.
Nope.
Multiple times.
No, it isn't.
In
No, it's not.
just a few hours. I guess that's what LA writers' rooms, all these, a lot of mentally ill
Tony, where did you get your Writers Guild of America
liberals out there
badge from?
that somehow with all these fucking blacks and Jews and Mexicans
Yeah, remember what I said last time, guys? Tony can't be racist. He has black people working for him.
around me. I guess I'm a fucking Nazi somehow. I guess the guy that pulls names out of...
Yeah, I guess that even though these people who I totally use as my sort of race beard, if I can be on stage with them because I'm paying them to be on stage with them and they all resent the shit out of me, and there's rumors that they all hate me and none of them really think I'm that funny, and they're always kind of laughing when people make fun of me, but what, I can't have that and also be a Nazi? This cracks me up.
Of a bucket, giving everybody an opportunity.
That part's true.
Is a Nazi, isn't that something?
Quite something, Tony. It is indeed quite something.
I was called that by a bunch of people that have never written anything in their lives. That
I'm called a Nazi by people who haven't written anything in their lives.
I was called that by a bunch of people that have never written anything in their lives, that literally have just been reading cue cards and teleprompters every project they've ever done with.
Actually, okay, I want to give credit where it's due to the comedy commentary community. Probably part of the reason you're not going to see this covered is because Kill Tony is so very vehement. As Patrick CC would call it, vehement. Bro, it's vehement. It's very vehement. They are quite vehement about copyright claims. So it's probably got more to do with that than like people not wanting to give Tony Hinchcliffe a platform or whatever some of these people may be actually doing. I think it's case by case. But there's more factors than I initially presented. Good faith.
With the inability to improvise whatsoever, no opportunity to have their own thought. They just read what the writers wrote for them without any originality whatsoever. And the writers I used to work with, there's a few great writers in that writer's room, and the rest of them are just living in a bubble of mental illness, and it's very exciting. But, I mean, the most, you know what I mean? I got called a Nazi, gay, a racist over and over again. I'm none of those three things, a little fun fact. But they are...
Yeah, but that's kind of the roast, right? I don't know, whatever.
They are fat, ugly, black, Jewish. Everything I said was real about them, just to remind...
Okay, Tony, but in your defense of being, in what you're saying in your own defense here, is like, I'm not racist, but I will say I'm not racist. Okay, give me a second. I'm not racist, gay, or a Nazi. However, they are ugly, old, black, and Jewish. You were right there. You didn't have to include those things at the end of your list of negative things in defense of you saying, I'm not. Okay. So neither Big J nor Tony are handling these, not allegations particularly, well.
Binder. Because I woke up today, and even though...
We'll go back.
They are fat, ugly, black, and Jewish. Everything I said was real about them. Just a reminder.
He's working himself up.
I woke up today, and even though
fat, ugly, gay, Jewish, and black, all bad things that are totally fun to make fun of. I guess maybe if I'm devil's advocating here, maybe he's being like, their jokes weren't even good because I'm none of those things, but I kept my shit real because it's actually about them. Frankly, I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm just like, I think the whole, like, you've heard my stance on the whole Puerto Rico joke thing. I'm not one of those people who's like, hey guys, you can't hate, Tony's not racist. He's not a Nazi, that's for sure. I think a lot of us just don't fully understand what racist entails. You know what I mean? It's one of those. It's been memed to death for years, but it's like maybe a little bit. It's weird to just deny it outright and then be like, those black bastards called me racist.
Even though every human that I've seen told me that it was unbelievable. There's news articles because the news isn't
It's almost like you surround yourself with people who agree with you. The thing you hate so much about those LA people.
real. Nothing is real. That say that I got lit up by Chelsea Handler, which is very, very funny because that's not what happened at all. You can't believe anything you see or read on the news anymore. You have to actually watch the thing for yourself. She was a bit of a cunt, I'll tell you that. She just kept coming at me.
There's that word again, boys. Al Franken is not going to like you anymore, Tony. I'm sure he was a big fan before.
She said we
were going to see Al Franken on Kill Tony.
Took the Saudi Arabia money. She was like,
if only. Honestly, I wish they would do more stuff like that instead of pushing like all these like B tier, C tier, right-leaning comedians. Bring on some people who would maybe not find the Austinite brand of comedy so funny. That would be really funny. Watching Al Franken react to comedians on Kill Tony and then inevitably walk off, that could be a whole third heat for you guys now. With the kind of fame they have, they could entice people that hate the show to come on. There's 2 million fucking people watching. Actually, 2.67 million. Kill Tony is fucking huge now.
It's like wrong about things. The writers just didn't do her any justice. But then the teleprompter, the fun fact, the teleprompter only went down during my set.
Now that is an interesting factoid. Sort of dirty pool, Los Angeles.
And it gave me a lot of opportunity to remind Chelsea Handler what she looks like and where her life is. Because she had a comment.
That is really fucking funny. Now, this is the Tony I like. I like that they're like, we're going to cut off his teleprompter, so Tony didn't have his preordained, pre-written jokes. So he just reverted to his natural state, which is being incredibly bitchy. Just focused that on Chelsea Handler, who may or may not have been one of the people instrumental in doing that. You know what I mean? I know she's very well received in the LA comedy scene. Is it true that was some of my friends who are also fans of Red Bar here, Was it Chelsea Handler that the bringing back the '90s Joey Diaz thing was about? Wasn't that like? Wasn't one of those women who Joey Diaz used to have blow him for stage time, allegedly? Wasn't that Chelsea? Not even allegedly. He said that. Wasn't one of those comedians Chelsea Handler, or am I misremembering that? Because for some reason that seems so familiar to me. Let me know in the comments if you have a little insight on that, please. And in just a couple of minutes here, after we're done listening to Representative Hinchcliffe, we are going to be doing our reading, as is tradition, of Corey Feldman's autobiography, Choreography. So stay tuned.
Everybody wants to go up early in those things, and they put a lot of the people that they know will do good at the end, which is fucking bullshit, because some people turn off the television before that happens. And so what they don't realize, though, because they want...
Full disclosure, I didn't watch the whole thing. It just took so long. I got like an hour and a half into it, exactly like Tony said here. I got about an hour and a half into it, and I was like, we can watch something else.
I go up early when the crowd's all fresh, is that I'm sitting there watching what they're doing. So when Chelsea kept coming at me, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fuck this bitch up. Anyway, it was fun. We're back home. Shout out to the Roastmaster General Jeff Ross, our Kill Tony family.
Jeff Ross is a fucking bitch, dude. I don't want it to ever be forgotten that the first thing he did when he got up on stage was like, Kevin, you once made fun of my looks so hard I went to the doctor, found out I had colon cancer. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, everyone have a great time. And you just watch everyone go like, fuck, making fun of Jeff Ross's looks was my Jeff Ross material. Jeff Ross counted on that, certainly. And I talked about it more in depth last week, but that is such a bitch move from the Roastmaster General himself. Like, we have another time code here on Kill Tony. And this one, another thing I called out, we're going to jump on up to 1315. And if you'll recall, I was talking about, only a couple of weeks ago, the Kill Tony Netflix, the most recent Kill Tony Netflix thing. And then I pointed out how funny I thought it was that Netflix put out at 8 o'clock on that Monday, the same Monday the Kill Tony special came out, how funny I thought it was that they put out the Kevin Hart's next big thing in comedy. The first episode of that came out the same night as the Kill Tony special, the Kill Tony WrestleMania thing. And I thought that was weird. I was like, oh, they've always been very friendly with Netflix. It just feels strange to me. Like, doesn't that feel like a shot? Doesn't that feel like they're picking a fight a little bit? I was like, I don't think Tony's gonna like that. And if we're doing a flashback video, play the clip. Crazy clip, right? I said the whole thing.
8 seconds.
So anyway, on this most recent episode of Kill Tony, 769, we hear Tony talk about it.
Toughest job in the business, and you never just do the bare minimum.
Oh, this is Dedrick. I'm going to avoid talking about Dedrick right now. In a big way, because I mostly agree with the assessment. I think the internet is being a little crazy, but I also am not a big Dedrick fan, and I don't want to just pile on. I don't want to be the fighter in the kid Reddit. Like, you don't need me to point out why you don't like Dedrick. Like, he's an incredibly abrasive. He doesn't follow the format of the show and doesn't really care to try, seemingly. Who was it that used to get all the time they wanted, and they would say, like, thanks, man, but, like, I want to follow the format. Like, I don't want to, like, just abuse that. And Tony always comes out and he's like, doing a full 3 minutes, that's 3 times the work. It's like, I don't know, because I think part of the hard part is making 1 minute funny. And that's what everyone complains about. You know, I only had a minute. I'm a storyteller. And Tony goes, well, if you can't be funny in a minute, you can't be funny. And they all kind of accept that as, like, that's the canon, right? Except Dedrick has never come in under a minute. And frankly, if it was worth it every time, that would be one thing. But, like, I don't know, man. I hate that he's making an exception for that guy. You know who comes out is very funny within the constraints provided by the show? Pat Murphy or whatever his fucking Irish-ass name is. Oh, Patrick Murphy.
Did an extra 30 seconds, a whole
Well, the night that Patty Murphy died is a night I'll never forget.
extra half a set of new material there. That is
So the boys got loaded drunk and they ain't got sober yet.
all true. That checks out.
That is.
The horn players and
But anyway, so Adam, this is right after Dedrick Flynn's set. I don't want to talk about Dedrick because I'm not a pile-on guy.
bare minimum.
I'm not saying the internet's wrong about this. I'm just saying I don't want to be just another person in the echo chamber. And even if that would get me views, if I was like 10 times Dedrick Flynn absolutely sucked, it would probably get me a bunch of, probably get more attention coming over here. And having said that out loud, I'm now considering it. I gotta get that AdSense, man.
You did an extra 30 seconds, a whole extra half a set of new material there. That is all.
See, he's Steve Jobsing it right here. Louis J. Gomez would be so proud of you, Tony. That's a feature, not a bug. You did 30 seconds over your time is one way to say it. Did an extra 30 seconds for free is an interesting way to reframe it.
It's all true. That checks out.
That is.
The
We're not even supposed to be talking about Dedrick, so let's move on.
horn players and Michael Gonzalez. They're still laughing. They're laughing. The hungover Mexican guy is laughing.
The guys on stage who are being paid to put on a show are entertaining this, so you must be good.
Hell yeah.
I would love to have Dedrick Flynn be the next Joker. I think he could be better than Hamill.
This is all true. Did you say you were on a work site? Where'd you come up with that?
Yeah, I used to build a car wash.
I'll say this on behalf of the old devil. I like storytellers. Dedrick isn't unfunny in his presentation. I just think that in the same way that Kill Tony is the perfect venue for William Montgomery, Miss William Montgomery. I hope he's doing okay. Oh, my goodness. We should look into that. I'm going to, in the meantime, I'm going to be doing some research on William. Maybe he's done an episode of his podcast. I just want to hear if we can hear him talk about it. No one is paying attention to that, which I hate, because he's given us so much more than that. He deserves better. It's just there's 1.5 million new fans who don't appreciate William for the hero that he actually is, by your traditional hero's journey standards. In the same way that it was a perfect venue for William Montgomery, I think it's a bad way to highlight the talents that Dedrick does have. I just think Kill Tony is not the place for it. For a few reasons. You know what I mean?
So, like,
you know what I mean?
my general... I did.
Why?
It's just the... for a lot of reasons.
I worked there, too. Why is that silly?
Yes, Chris is laughing very hard at the fact that you built car washes.
Snoop Dogg worked at a car wash. Shaq built a car wash.
If you build a car wash, Mexicans will come.
This dude was trying so hard. He just has one of those personalities that just doesn't really stick. You know what I mean? Where you're like, seems like a cool guy. Sure, man. Oh, so-and-so's gonna be there? Okay. I want to go discing. Wait, who's coming with you? Is he the dude in the flannel? Or is... Yes, yeah, okay. Yeah, sure, he seems cool. It's this guy. He's just been mid as fuck the whole time. And I feel bad for him because he's coming on Kill Tony. Him and Tony started at the same time. This is Matt Edgar I'm talking about. Him and Tony started comedy at the same time, and he made a joke when they talked about that on the show. Matt made the joke and one of us made it. And so he was really swinging for the fences every time he got a chance, and he never really hit one this whole app. And so I do feel a little bad for the guy.
It's like Field of Dreams for them.
They're good
Thanks for clarifying.
at it.
So what does it take to build a car wash? Was that you just had worked
Gentlemen, please move on.
for a company that only built car washes?
Well, they built their own, and I was a GM there too, so I had to like go through the whole building process, like put
Excuse the sound here. I'm gonna have to. Ew, the sound of plastic. Set this aside. Reuse it later.
and then the PVC pipes, bolting all the frames, and
He said, signaling his virtue.
it's like a like one of those automatic
You liked
car
it because there was a lot of hose.
Oh, it's way better now. It's far more palatable. I had about 2 Bios and about half a Mio's worth
washes. Yeah,
of water.
I love. There's tons of.
Skip ahead a little bit.
A breakup. She's vacuuming up all his cigarettes
Talking about a water hose. Is it
out of her car.
Oh, Tony made a funny joke here.
Go through a breakup. She's bro.
car wash joke?
Man,
That's
girl.
hose.
Wow, it took him 20 seconds to get people to laugh at.
Frames and because like a like one of those automatic.
You liked
car
it because there was a lot of hose.
Yeah, I love. There's tons of. At the car.
Actually was. And it wasn't really funny or anything, but it is really funny that Dedrick just fucking right over Dedrick's drunken skull. He kind of goes, yeah, I did love it. Like, there was a bunch of bitches and a bunch of hoes there.
Car wash.
You liked it because there was a lot of hose.
Yeah, I love. There's tons of. At the car wash with bro.
Car wash joke.
Man,
That's
girl,
hose.
any girl that go through a breakup.
That's another thing that Dedrick really needs to figure out is his timing during the conversation. Dedrick is the kind of dude who doesn't really know. Like, I'm this way, where I'll know how someone's like sentence is ending, so I'll just kind of jump in at the end and start responding, because otherwise they might take like 3 more sentences to clarify the point I already understand, and then I will have forgotten what I wanted to say, and I'm thinking about that the whole time while they're talking anyway. It's like I get that it comes off a little rude sometimes, but I'm not on a stage with a microphone with 4 other more famous than me dudes who also have microphones and doing it there, right? I'm just doing it on a Zoom call, and I blame it on the fact that it's because it's Facebook Messenger. Dedrick does it where he'll kind of interrupt one of the guests, and on any podcast, it's a big no-no. It's like rule 2 or 3, right? You don't interrupt because. Especially 10 years ago, the joke was like, a bunch of dudes having random conversations and talking over each other. Classic podcast. So it is like, it's right up there with don't eat into the mic. And dead air is bad. It's just, those are some of the core tenets of what they're doing. And Dedrick just keeps interrupting. And he does it a lot. And most egregiously, I don't think he knows that he's doing it. And I think whether his haters know it or not, that's adding to their frustration because it makes the show more cacophonous. It's more like, shut up, God, please stop. I'm trying to hear this person I already only kind of want to hear anyway. Now there's 2 of you I only kind of want to hear. It's like dividing fractions or something math related.
Bringing her car through the car wash to get this nigga out of her car. Like, she's got to vacuum up all his sick.
See how Tony is in the middle of trying to point something out, and Dedrick is just like, the car wash. It's like, Dedrick, you do have talent. Tony sensed something in you that does truly exist. I believe this, Dedrick. But please, lay back. Stay in the cut a little bit, hang back a little, do a little like touch, test your reach. So like you don't need to come in there just like yelling and swinging, because it's part of the reason that everyone is vehemently against you. Patrick CC.
Talking about a water hose. Did anyone not get my hose joke?
No one's getting his hose joke.
Still seems like I haven't gotten what I deserve for the.
You've gotten what you deserved for it, but at the time, I mean, it's clever. It's, as I've said before, it's classic Tony. He's very, very reliant on wordplay, and I unironically love that.
A lot of hose.
A lot of hose.
Because it's a car.
Damn hair in my lip. What are you? classes.
Wash.
Just because I talked about Minos and his weird beastophilic wife.
Okay, thank you. That's what I needed. I needed a hand clap from this beautiful, one of the hottest Down syndrome women I've ever seen in my entire life.
My God, that bull.
I'm a little vicious, sorry. I'm
Daedalus!
still in roast mode. It's been a crazy
Daedalus is in his workshop like...
weekend.
And you did great. Why do they keep calling you racist? That don't make no sense. Cause
This was a cool move of Dedrick to do. We've seen this before. Who was it? I think it was... it was Cam after the Puerto Rico thing. My auntie hates your... My grandma hates your ass. Like... but did a good job of kind of fielding the racist allegations. Dedrick is kind of doing his due diligence here. I want to say Hans Kim did it during Tony's Asian kick. God, that feels like 2 lifetimes ago, doesn't it? When Tony got in trouble for his Asian racisms, he got on Hans Kim. Oh, right, because I can't remember I think he's a Vietnamese comic. Went on and was just like, I think calling Tony racist, or did a bunch of jokes at Tony's expense, or just did poorly. And Tony gets up and is like, let's hear it for the, wow, what a little pink. Only he didn't say pink. He said chains and pink all mixed together. And people lost their shit because this was like 2019 or so. I don't know. I don't remember exactly when. No, they were in Austin by this point. I don't think they were at the mothership yet, though, because I'm picturing Vulcan Gas Company during this part. So, in any case, Hans Kim did his, fielding these questions, these allegations of racism.
if you're bad at it.
I know.
You can't keep changing all these. You changed my life. I
noticed there was a theme, and they very rarely talked about how.
I'll say that too. That Tony's taken the high road on that. He hasn't been the one that's like, I've changed the lives of almost exclusively minorities. It's like, and good for him, because it would really kind of put a bad taste. It would seem like token adjacent if that's what he came out and actually said. It's better to have one of the people, one of the POCs whose lives you did change, say it for you. Now, whether this was something Tony prompted, I think probably. I can't prove it, but it seems to me like Tony would be like, hey, by the way, if you were to bring up how everyone's calling me racist, it wouldn't cost you points. Love you.
Wildly successful.
In my mind, they kiss.
My show is, because it's on a different streaming company, so I think they weren't allowed to make fun of Kill Tony, even though we work with them for at least.
Here we go.
And though we work.
Going back a little.
How wildly successful my show is, because it's on a different stream.
Go back a little farther.
You changed my life.
I noticed there was a theme, and they very rarely talked about how.
To be fair, Dedrick, Tony just stepped on your line there. You were saying something kind of cute and sweet. You're like, I hope you never learn how to be racist, Tony. That's Hallmark card. That's the end of a kid's book. Cute. That's really, really sweet of you, Dedrick. And he, in your defense, stepped on your toes at the end there. But no one's commented about that, are they, Dedrick?
A wild.
You know what? I got your back, buddy. We're doing this. I'm pro Dedrick here now.
Successful my show is, because it's on a different streaming company.
Gave me chills. I'm stoked. I'm on your side, Dedrick. Let's get him, buddy.
So I think they weren't allowed to make fun.
I think Dedrick is funny and cool. I know it sounded sarcastic.
Kill Tony.
We'll start organically at this. I think he's misunderstood. I think it's his fault, but I think he's misunderstood. We'll work from there. Man, this is going to piss people off.
Even though we work with them for at least multiple episodes a year, but I don't think they like mentioning YouTube. I don't think Netflix and YouTube get along very well. We always play nice. I never mention YouTube on a I never say we have hundreds of episodes available on YouTube on the Netflix episodes. And it's funny, they did this weird Kevin Hart show where they find the next comedic talent.
Oh, this is what Druid was talking about.
Oh, they released that on Mondays at 8. It almost seems like they were trying to start some shit there.
Nailed it! The vindication of being right. That's exactly what I said. I said, doesn't that feel a little weird? Well, isn't that a little fucking strange? That's the same night, and to their credit, to speak on their behalf, it's smart because then they're like, next up, suggested things. If you like this, you love this. Then they could put their own Kevin Hart show where they don't have to pay Kill Tony a bunch of money. They could just like pay Chelsea Handler to come on as a guest or whatever the fuck. So I called it. I'm just saying.
But, you know, I play nice. I play nice until I don't. And here we are.
You fucking shit. You just watching you stand over the body. We were like, enough's enough.
Dedrick, buddy. It's your pal. It's old Druid. Just real quick. You don't, in the case of not having something to say, need to just make noise. What is this? Why are you? She's dead.
And here we are.
You fucking shit. You just
Dedrick. This is what I mean. I lay back a little, bro. You know, keep your hands up, keep moving. Feel them out a little bit and wait for your moment to stick them. Like, this is crazy, and I need to hear it one more time before we do our reading of choreography.
You know, I play nice. I play nice until I don't. And here we are.
You fucking shit. You just watching you stand over the body. We were like, enough's enough.
Enough is indeed enough. And so, with only slightly more ado, as I pull up our more chill Bard Fox music, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Bard Fox, actually. Thank you so much, Bard Fox, BARDFOX, for letting us use your music. We used to, friends of the show, longtime friends of the show, will remember that we used to use Epidemic. Bard Fox, you're interrupting me. I'm trying to say thank you. Epidemic Funk was what we used to use. And Epidemic Funk was called royalty-free music that blah, blah, blah. You can use it. No worries at all. It's totally chill. And they copyright claimed me. So, fuck Epidemic Funk. Epidemic Fuck, more like. I need to pee. I need to refill my beverage. I'm going to leave you with some Bard Fox music, and then we're going to jump in to a reading of the autobiography written by Corey Feldman. Choreography. Louder, please. 4. We are on the way. It's Gosh, it's a robot. It's not a human impression, so I can totally get away with it now. Loophole. Hard loophole. Okay. Let's all take a breath. So, when last we found Corey Feldman, he was being let down by his yester-rocker father. His father said, look, I'll take you to go see Sean Cassidy. And, for weeks, I fantasized about what it might be like to attend my first real concert. What it might be like to see Sean Cassidy, the teen dream, in person, close enough to reach out and touch. Of course, my dad never got the tickets. He left again, and I didn't see him for nearly a month. During the 2 or 3 years I spent guest starring on popular 70s sitcoms, Paramount Pictures, sentence structure, excuse me. During the 2 or 3 years I spent guest starring on popular 70s sitcoms, Paramount Pictures, a sprawling 65-acre complex on Melrose Avenue in Hollywood, became like a home away from home. I knew that the huge blue wall painted to look like the sky, which had been sitting idly in the middle of a parking lot for weeks, was actually the backdrop for Gilligan's Island. During breaks in filming, on the rare occasion that I didn't have to hightail it back to the school trailer, I loved wandering through the backlots meant to sub for the gritty streets of New York City, and I learned to recognize stars like Tony Danza and Robin Williams when they walked by, though in Robin's case, he was usually pedaling past on a bike. I spent so much time on the lot, in fact, that I developed a natural, easy rapport with the head of television casting, a sweet little old man whom I will call Bill Kaufman. I knew that if Bill was casting a show, I had a good shot at getting a part. So when he announced that he was casting a new series called The Bad News Bears, based on the movie starring Walter Matthau as the Little League coach to a team of preteen misfits, I figured I had a chance, even if most of the actors were between the ages of 10 and 15, while I was still only 7. Bill held cattle call style auditions across the country, but I won the role of Reggie Tower, a 1 in a million gig. None of the Bears were supposed to be particularly gifted ball players, but Reggie was especially awful. He was angry and uncoordinated and constantly getting pummeled in the head by the ball. This, of course, was fitting. I had no innate athletic talent and essentially no athletic experience. I'd certainly never been on a real Little League team before. I had always been too busy working. But the more the producers realized that I actually was inept, the more they played up the fact that I couldn't catch. Whereas the first few weeks of filming had been filled with adventures, water balloon flights, carnival rides, and go-karting, it suddenly started to feel as though the bulk of my time on set was being It was suddenly starting to feel as though the bulk of my time on set was being spent watching some young production assistant drag a bag of baseballs to a spot just off camera, where he'd prepare to launch them at me one by one. The entire Bears cast, including Jack Warden in the role of Coach Morris, had already become like a surrogate family to me. And though I had never been to summer camp, running around the Paramount lot with 9 or 10 other kids my age, I imagined this must be what it was like. But getting whacked in the head with a baseball, it turned out, was not near as much fun as launching water balloons at my co-stars or learning to drive a go-kart. Though it was perhaps misleading to say that I actually learned how to drive, because I burned out more than a few go-kart engines slamming on the brakes and the gas at the same time. It's not like I had an idea what I was doing. I was 7, but it really pissed off the producers. Whether that added to the frequency with which Reggie got smacked with errant baseballs, I can't be sure. This has been a reading of the autobiography written by Corey Feldman. Choreography. Woo! Excellent. Well, my friends, it is indeed that time again. Time to bust out the EEK scale, which is, of course, how we rate these comedy specials. The EEK scale is cool because it works for both half-hour specials and 1-hour specials. Though the amount of faux pas you can commit in an hour you have more opportunity to commit faux pas in an hour. Comedians who do half an hour tend to be newer, and so they'll pack plenty of faux pas in there. For instance, Gringo Poppy, which was only half an hour long, got a -6, whereas False Gods got a -2. So even though Brian Callen had more time to commit more faux pas, he did a few things better. So the EEK scale works. It works. It works. We're going back to 2007. Now let's catch up with our new friend, Shane Mauss. Spelled M-A-U-S-S for those of you who want to go follow and subscribe to his stuff. This is pretty cool. If you didn't catch last week's episode, that's totally fine. Shane Mauss is a psychonaut comedian, by my description. He doesn't call himself that. He's got some cool psychedelic background thing, and he's doing drug-based stand-up comedy. It's sort of a presentation, one-man show stand-up comedy thing, but he's clever. He's clever in his writing, in my opinion, so far. So we're pulling up the EEK scale here. We're getting it pulled off to the side so we can look at it as well as Shane's beautiful red head. Blondish, strawberry blonde head. And let's hear him out.
Like, oh no. Oh, I've made a terrible decision this evening.
Okay, so what he's talking about is how he... first time, I think the first time he took acid, someone gave him, you know, a big blotter or something, and he took the whole thing. He took half of it, but then like half hour later, took the whole thing, the classic. So that's what the mistake he's talking about.
Feels like I just did all of the drugs.
So millennial.
All of them. All at the same time. And I'm overdosing on every single one. Well,
Oh no, this was the DMT. So the first time he did DMT, he meets with like the DMT king of that area. There's one in every family, sire. And the person who gave it to him said you got to take 3 big bong rips of it, which is crazy to do. I think at my craziest, never right in a row. I don't think I took 3 big, 2-foot bong, fucking DMT hits. Maybe 2 comparably sized ones. But like that's really going for it, bruv.
Guess I'm gonna die now. Phil saw the look on my face. He's like, 1 more.
So after the second hit, Phil sees the look on his face and says, dude, I filled this up with more water. I drank it down to here and filled it up with more water, and it's still plenty of flavor. You got a little too much Mio in the system.
It's like, well, nothing to lose at this point. So I started filling up that bong. It was nice and milky white. I took a breath before clearing it. And when I did that, all of this, everything I've ever known, just goes ba-dum-bum, gone. And after a dramatic pause, there was just me and this bong in space. Not planets or stars or anything, just a black, infinite void. Brought the bong with me. And the smoke inside the bong turned into electricity. That electricity turned into codes. I was like, this is gonna be weird. Then I smoked all those codes up. Only seemed right. And then I just shot through a tunnel of fractals and lights and insane colors I'd never seen. Just bloop, 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 bloop. And then I just landed in a weird hologram computer chip city or something that looked super familiar for some reason. Like I'd been there hundreds of times before. And these lights were communicating with me in this way that I could understand perfectly, like a foreign language that somehow I knew instantly better than my own. It was like thoughts without words, more clearly than I've ever understood anything. It just goes, welcome. So happy to see you. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, I broke my brain. You really did it this time, Shane. You broke your fucking brain. Now what are you gonna do? You live here now. And I was like, calm down, focus, pay attention. It started building all of these structures and stuff. It was like, this is how I talk. This is very difficult to describe, by the way. Now do you understand? If you've never done DMT before, I imagine you assume that I'm probably putting a little comedic flair on this. Maybe embellishing in some way.
Nope.
I wouldn't fault you if you thought I was just making this whole story up. Wouldn't blame you at all, but you...
Shane, okay. I'm gonna use this chance. We were building something here, man. Makes me so angry I want to high-five you. I don't like high fives. I'm a pound man. Dap. So, last week, chat, as we streamers call the people who talk to us in our chats. Last week, chat had an interesting take, which was, why not have ad blockers on? Quote, get good, G-U-D. And chat was right about this. I totally understand that. Yes, of course, right? Why wouldn't I do that? I'm trying to put on a show here, I'm trying to make it better forever. I'm trying to take this, I'm making a transformational, and so maybe part of that transformation can be getting rid of all these pesky ads. Only, chat, that's not what we're doing here. I want to take the work that they are putting out to the common man, the lowest common denominator of human trash, as American Redact refers to us, loosely. I want you guys to hear what they put out, not the version of it that's been changed. It would be the exact same thing if I downloaded these, ran them through some mastering so the audio sounded as good as it could sound for you. Yes, that would technically be a more comfortable experience, but as the imagined version of Al Franken said earlier, sometimes it's good to be a little uncomfortable. Well, sometimes I think... He didn't actually say that. That was me playing Al Franken as a character, and I said it, but it's true. And in this particular case, the reason it's good to be uncomfortable is because this is what they thought was okay. And Shane... I like him. I like him a lot. He seems like the kind of dude who I would, spend a weekend I would go home and write about. You know what I mean? We'd be out at some cool national park and be doing all kinds of crazy shit. I like Shane a lot, but Shane deserves the point that he's about to lose. He deserves this demerit, not because he placed it there, but because he placed his work in the hands of a company, a corporation. And they were like, well, fuck it. I don't give a shit when we play the ads. I care that we play the ads. I'm just going to put them wherever. Now, that's how you lose double points. Dun, 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 dun. But seriously, this is an X2 minus, which means if you do your ad breaks and you do them politely or you do them artistically or you do them well, you can gain a single point. But if you get a single demerit against you, if you do it poorly, it's minus 2 points. Okay? It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So, in summary, I'm not going to get an ad blocker. Is that due in some part to laziness? No. Not at all. But also the integrity of the show. I want to show you guys what they are showing the pores, and you can enjoy the internet however you would like. I refuse to get good, G-U-D.
I am underselling the scenario. There are no words. There are no visuals that can possibly do it justice. This is just Michael and I giving it our best shot. Another hand for Michael Strauss in the back, huh? Feeling it? That's how he says thank you. So anyways, now do you understand? And I was like, I guess so. And then it goes, now do you really want to see something? Like it was going to show me all of the meanings of life, every secret reveal. I was like, all right. And goes, look over here. And I looked over. And there was just this weird, out of place, cartoon cat just laughing at me. And I look back like, what? I was like, oh, I'm just messing with you. And that was it. That was the end of my first DMT trip. 100% back to normal, as clear-headed as I've ever been in my entire life, going, what the fuck was that? So I got very into DMT at that time. I do not like not knowing how something works, and DMT is the greatest mystery that I've ever come across. And, you know, at the time that I got into it, it was referred to as the spirit molecule because of the stories.
Joe Rogan.
Of people.
Right, because of Joe Rogan. Wasn't the spirit molecule like a documentary that came out? And Joe Rogan did a whole like comedy bit about it back when Joe Rogan was still cool. Leftover monkey shit. He had a special. It was fucking great. It was really insightful and cool. And like, it got shown to me by the same type of person who would enjoy Shane Mauss. It was like Oregon, from Michigan, Oregonites, right? So like heady, but not like hippie necessarily. I don't know. Like more like EDM festy people than like bluegrass hippies, which is an important distinction. But if you're not plugged in, you probably don't have any fucking idea what I'm talking about.
Interacting with these spirits and entities and stuff. I get it. It's what the subjective feeling of an experience is like. 9 out of 10 of you smoked enough DMT, you'd find yourself babbling to some weird entity. Most people believe in a God they've never seen. I don't know how it's somehow more crazy to believe in one that you spent 10 minutes in.
It's a really, really funny, very exclusive to DMT users. There's somebody I know who's far younger than me, but is currently the front person for a band made up of friends of mine. Some of them dear, dear friends. And I feel like he would enjoy Shane Mauss's comedy. May have to reach out. Shout out High Diaz.
In multiple infinities, building some weird fractal bridge between your worlds. But
someday when I can pay them, I'm gonna have Ideas actually do a theme song for the show. But I can't offer them money yet. I respect what they do too much to just ask for a favor. Though they might do it if I asked as a favor, but I won't.
I think it's your subconscious mind that you don't normally have access to. Imagine if you didn't know how computer programming worked, and then one day your screen just glitched, and you saw all of the coding that went into... Oh my god, I've been jerking off to ones and zeros this whole...
Fuck you, man. That is so disappointing. It's really, like, every time, and I remember this from last week now, every single time I start to get pulled into your hypnosis, you hold a little alarm clock up to my fucking head. Not very shamanistic of you, Mr. Mauss. Again, I get that it's a collab with 800-pound Gorilla Media, but you had to know. You had to know. But I guess in your defense, no, because I would have gone to your site and watched it. That's why you go on podcasts. Doing both, I guess, is fine. How many views does this have? I suppose 55,000 is respectable. Yeah, I mean, sure, I'm going to be getting probably... I'm hoping for 40 on this one. I'm going to put some of the comedians' names in the in the title of the video. Because for whatever, I mean, it kind of makes a lot of sense to do that, right? Totally works. Let me know if you have any titular advice for me. But I will say I'm not changing the level thing. It gets so in the way. And it turns people off because they feel like they have to listen to all of my previous episodes. And they totally don't. And it fucks up the entire aesthetic of my titular nomenclature. But I'm stuck on it.
It will look completely different, but it's not. It's the same kind of world, or it gives rise to that computer interface that you see. It just looks different. I guess the best way that I could describe it is if you've seen the movie Inside Out. It's one of my favorite films of all time. I think it sums up kind of how the subconscious brain works really well, which is this girl, the subject of the film is actually her inner world.
Who edited this? Does it say in the description, we're gonna make fun of your work? It's not the right note, but featured artists. Okay, cool. So we have a bunch of cool art consultants, suit, agent. For info on all these artists and partners for trips, behind the scenes content, and more. That actually seems pretty fucking sick. By the way, you can go to shanemauss.com/trips for that thing I was just describing. Fuck, it doesn't tell me who I can make fun of for this terrible editing. But, like, really just, again, not using the crossfade usually just pops up. It's usually an option when you combine two regions together, or when you put two regions back to back. There's usually a little icon that pops up, and if you click that, across many different editing programs, from GarageBand to whatever I use for my shitty, whatever, free version you can get on an old MacBook that I was using. It's pretty much always the same. If you connect two regions, if there's a little thing and a little icon in the middle, click it, because crossfade will be an option. Because it's so straightforward, because everyone uses it, because it sounds like this when you don't.
Well, which is this girl, the subject of the film is actually...
Did you feel that? Because I noticed that the visuals, it like makes it even more obvious that there was a cut there. But I feel like you can hear that. Give me one more time and I won't even talk.
It works really well, which is this girl, the subject of the film is actually her inner world. It's really the premise.
See the editing, it jumps. You hear the cut. You can hear the airspace change. You just gotta use a little bit of your atmospheric tone, right? 60 minutes of silence for your atmospheric tone. Help that, and then crossfade it, and it'll at least seem like you tried.
Is that we all have these...
Shane, if you edited this, I apologize. Check out crossfade.
Different emotional states that are represented by characters, and so you have like joy and anger and sadness and fear and disgust, and they're all... they're all flavoring your memories in different ways at different times of your life. They're fighting over levers on a control panel to drive her exterior behavior. They're all aware that she's there. She's not aware that they're there. And I think that that is actually a lot of how our subconscious mind does work, oddly enough. In fact, I hope they make an eventual sequel to those films called Outside In, where that little girl as an adult smokes DMT for the first time. Pops down into that.
All right, man, I gotta give him a point for originality. I think we already have here, but I mean, he deserves it. He's sticking so well to his like drug thing, but he's not doing it in a like, oh, 420, 69, mushrooms on everything way. He's taken stoner comedy and he's elevated it, and you don't really see this done. This ain't Cheech and Chong, man.
Oh my God!
Thank God, because Tommy Chong has gotten a little weird in his 80s.
I was like, there's this joyful God.
Who did I see? Who was talking to Tommy Chong? Oh, Matan.
And this angry God, and this sad God, and
Handled it well, but everyone does now.
all these different worlds, and some of them
I look forward to seeing the next thing that Matan does. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the Matan show or whatever, but everyone knows it. He's so big that everyone knows that they're about to be trolled, so they come on and they're like, he'll say some crazy shit, and they're like, yeah, I know this is what you do. I notice that that's not your actual voice, though. Where are you from? You're from Los Angeles? No, you're not. That's not your accent. He's a brilliant young man, and I look forward to seeing what the kid goes on to do. I follow Mike, which is also hilarious. I think it's like Mike World or something on YouTube. Check it out, because like if you're in your every now and again in your shorts feed or in your homepage, you'll get a picture of Mike. Like they were at what is it, like Live Out Loud or whatever the festival was called, blasting noises or whatever. There's a bunch of funny pictures of him and Matan and little clips from him and Matan there. But anyway, so I watched Tommy Chong and Matan. I'm busy. I can't come break up your crazy domestic fights.
work a lot.
I would if I thought that's what was happening.
Sing and reap.
I'm a sort of Jedi.
Hell.
Redneck Jedi. Jedi redneck. Master redneck. Come back to me, I can do better.
It would sound just like every DMT trip report I've ever heard of. But I'm also not overly attached to that idea. Again, it's like the mushrooms versus LSD rivalry is kind of the spiritual.
That's such a weird take. I've never actually. I guess I've maybe kind of heard it, but if that's a thing, it's incredibly stupid. I mean, I guess it's no more stupid than saying Jolly Ranchers are better than Skittles. They are. They're both great. I'd love a handful of Skittles, but I'm a Jolly Rancher, man.
Versus the more science.
But it being like a rivalry.
LSD rivalry is kind of the spiritual versus the more sciencey subconscious take on it. It's, still trying to articulate the same sort of thing. I've had.
Feels like your circles a little bit.
Things that
I acknowledge the difference, certainly, and they're great. But they're, again, it's any tool. They're great for different things. I guess where he's coming from a little bit more of like the subconscious when it comes to LSD, because I tend to use it more reflectively that way. I'll take shrooms with other people. I'll take acid with like the right people. You know what I mean? Like, if we're going somewhere cool and we got a group and I know that if I want to, I could just like get away from them, like going to some, like I said, a national park or something, the best way to do it. Then I might take LSD with people, but largely it's just for me. It's largely so I can like lose my shit, and then during the wash, because I don't take it for the peak anymore. That's a young man's game. I take it for the introspection of the downslope, versus boomers, which if I'm at a bar and someone's like, "You want some shrooms?" I'm like, yeah, dog. Let's get weird. So again, I think It's like having a favorite candy or a favorite color. It's like they're all made of sugar and light.
Have made me question. I've certainly, there's a purple woman that I've talked about a bunch that I've seen multiple times, and other people see her as well. And
I always wonder how true that is. Because I'll go so far as to say I understand like the adjacency of sacred geometry and psychedelia, because I too have closed my eyes and gone through the, you know what I mean? Like I know that there's a familiarity in that, but you hear these like the DMT elves and like, oh, the purple lady. You hear people talk about these like colloquialisms, these sort of wives' tales in psychedelia that I've gone there on some of these things. I have never experienced anything that I don't even know that I've experienced anything, you know, when it comes to like visuals, anything even like recurring or reoccurring. I am going to use the restroom real quick. I'm going to leave you with some Blue Harp so we stay in that more psychedelic, chill mindset. Shout out Bard Fox, thanks for the music. friends. Shane Mauss.
This is actually work.
Looks like we're going to be landing this right on time today because it's a little shorter. It's a 46-minute, which I think is an integrity move. He didn't fill it with 15 minutes more of filler bullshit. It was like, nah, we'll take what's hot and that's the show. Why stretch it to an hour for the sake? Like, that's fucking keeping it real. So...
Work by Hasan Piker. I found this and reached up.
Hasan Piker, the fuck?
And other people see her as well, and this is actually work by Hasan Piker. I found this and reached out to him because I had met this purple woman many times, and then I was doing some research for figuring out how any of this is possible and researching like different dimensions, how the universe has multiple dimensions and how some of them we don't perceive. And then Googling that, this popped up and I was like, what? That's the purple lady that I see. And so...
Fuck, Shane. This is gonna end up being a negative score. If he does one more of those where it's in the middle of his joke, we're hitting him with another fucking point for it. I think every 3 is good. That's a good standard, right? Every third time they interrupt their own joke with an ad. I'm not saying you can't do ads, man. I'm a capitalist, baby. I'm defending billionaires daily, okay? I turned down lunch with Peter Thiel. But I'm a capitalist. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to make money. I get that you have to make money. But for of most, you are a performer. And your performance should take priority. And if it doesn't, then people are going to stop being so excited to watch you perform. Because now, unfortunately, Shane, when I think back on this cool presentation, this really immersive one-man show comedy act that you've spent years putting together, but when I look back on it, I'm going to go, oh yeah, it was ads every fucking 2 minutes. If you let us get away with 2 minutes. Like, there's no time for me to sink into the hot tub of your story. You're just like dumping cold water buckets on top of me, or I'm like, you're lowering the temperature of all of the water by insisting that I just can't relax and just enjoy it. Like, it truly is bothersome. There's a right way to do it, and this ain't it, Shane Mauss. Shane Gillis, on the other hand, has been forgiven by us. Forgiveness.
Whatever the hell's going...
Shane Mauss, however, I'm starting to get a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, mostly because of the ads. I love what he's doing. I love the show that he's doing, but the presentation of it, you know, it would be like going to see a band you really like, only as a part of their show, they got a bunch of, like, sweaty, shirtless, hairy, fat guys to, like, truffle shuffle in front of your eyes. Where you're like, okay, like, I like this music, this vibe, like, this is really cool, except for this one inescapable obstruction to my enjoyment. I'm not going to be able to see past this fucking belly. And you keep putting the belly in our faces, bro. Is that enough metaphors for you? Do you understand why I'm disappointed, Shane?
Going on.
Fuck.
It's strange, for sure. I'm just not too overly attached to any belief about what is happening. Because I think you run yourself into trouble when you get too sure of yourself with any belief in life. But especially with...
I agree. That's my whole, like, willingness to admit I'm wrong. I'll just walk through life assuming I'm right, and when I'm wrong, I'll admit it, and then I'll keep on being more right. Now I get to be right about that thing I was wrong about before. My superiority maintains.
Tripping ones.
I'm a druid supremacist.
It's easy to do, especially when you're new or you have a new psychedelic that you haven't tried before. Just because it's legal right now and there's clinics And I think kind of a safer bet for people is ketamine to start with, because you can professionally have administered a pretty significant experience. I recognize that sometimes people are like, I'm gonna have a little bump, go out on the dance floor. Woo! Watch out for the K-hole. Are you serious? It's K-hole or bust. Grow up. A K-hole is what a doctor gives you. Like, you go into a doctor's office and you're like, I'm very depressed. And you're like, well.
Ketamine's funny because it's one of those drugs. There's a few of them like this. But I've been like with my group of friends and ketamine's come up and I've been like, I've never done ketamine before. And one or two of them turns to me and like, I've done ketamine with you before. It's like, drunk me, you old bastard. What have you been up to, you drunk fuck? That is another thing that a lot of these like purists and I don't necessarily see eye to eye on. I recognize the value in doing both. Having only psychedelics in your system and then finishing it out with some Doja maybe. It's the pure way to do it. But if you're looking for a party, a little rum with the Lady ST. Well, I'm just saying. It doesn't not work. Like if that's usually the conditions. Actually, I'll go farther to say this, that if I'm offered a dose in public around people, I'm going to accept it regardless. I'm going to take half of it most likely right then. And but that is dependent upon whether or not I have access to booze. Because when you're drunk and you're tripping, it's just kind of like, you know, it's harder for other people's energies to invade yours, you know. And I get that sometimes that's part of the ego death. The whole K-hole or bust thing, I do respect. But anyway, I digress.
You need a K-hole. I
agree with him.
Ketamine's an interesting one, and that it's more of a disassociative. Sometimes that's what I'm in the mood for. Like after 28 years of psychedelic experiences, sometimes I'm just fucking sick of associating. I don't always want to be putting all the puzzle pieces together. I love mushrooms, but sometimes I'm scared to take them because I don't want another mission in life right now. I'm full up on missions. And ketamine's good. If you just want to have like a weird ass experience and shake it up a little bit, ketamine's just interesting in that way that it can be so intense that you can even like forget that you're human. That level of intensity, and still it's a tranquilizer at the same time. That is a combination of emotional states that I enjoy. Intense and tranquil. Oh, so good. If I had to describe it, it's like if someone tranquilized you and threw you out of an airplane or something. Whoa. Flipping around toward Earth at a high rate of speed right now. I should be worried. Just taking in the view.
So per my previous addressing of this won't cost him a point. That was technically punctuational. We'll say that.
Especially compared to...
We'll say that like I just said a word or something. Okay, I'm just double checking the EEC scale here. I'm gonna give him a point for informative efficiency because now that we can look back, the introduction really did set him up well. It sets the tone well, and it informs us of what we should be expecting. Are those two elements redundant? Maybe. We'll address that later. Excuse me, Lucia. I'll say this, he's been doing fantastic with his transitions. If you can go 31:48, if you can do 31 minutes and 48 seconds without me being like, that was a transition, which I haven't, then great. And truly an adept hand at subject adjacency. So, well done. Not much for any crescendoing, but that's, you know, it's really more of like a hitting the norm and then dipping into like weirdness. And I think that's stylistic rather than being a focal. So, yeah. So I think as of now we're still good. I don't think we've missed any scorings, be they demerits or otherwise.
The other ones like DMT, those kinds of experiences can have more attachment because DMT has a real feeling of this is the most.
We're giving him a point for callbacks. It's not your traditional callback, but it is reincorporating a previous story element to add to the cohesiveness of the greater piece, which, if you ask me, is a callback.
Urgent, important information and experience there's ever been, and you need to remember all of it and act on it immediately. DMT will be like, here it is, Shane, the codes to unlimited energy, so you can fix humanity. Like, all right, fool me 10 times, DMT. Can we talk about this, actually? Yeah, you want to know what happened the last time you gave me the codes for unlimited energy? Guess what I did? I went and told people that I had the codes to unlimited energy to save humanity per your instructions. Yeah, guess who spent a couple months walking back some of those claims? Thank you very much. Along the way, did a bit of Googling. Turns out perpetual motion, not possible, according to the laws of physics.
Currently.
As we know them, and DMT will be like, yes, but have you looked at math backwards? They're like, oh, that's it, DMT, you got it. Now, will you remember? Of course, DMT. You've made it so simple to
Yeah, those, like, profound realizations. Very, very akin to dreams, where it is so clear to you and so real to you in that moment, and you're like, of course I'll remember this. How could I ever forget this? I've got the code now. If you don't write that fucking thing down in a way that you'll be able to decipher the next day, it is gone. The only shit you'll be able to remember is some stuff where you're like, I don't know, I just saw some purple lady or something. Like it's, and I'll say that from within the bounds of psychedelia, I have pulled pieces that have lasted me longer than any other piece I have pulled from other places. It was a Corey Feldman-esque sentence, but you feel me.
Understand. How could someone forget this? Two minutes later, I'm like, what was it again?
See?
Something about colors. Well, better smoke DMT again. For humanity. Ketamine can have all that same intensity. Be like, oh my God, have I been in a simulation this whole time? Oh, has it just been this room that we've all been in? And there's actually nothing outside of this, and that everything else that we remember was just an implanted dream. And then afterwards, whatever, ketamine, you old goofball.
Tonight, in your spacious La Quinta.
So he dodged the bullet again. That's also pretty, you know, material-wise, it's pretty punctuational. It's still such a drag, bro. Shane, I hope you get enough followers from this. I hope you make enough money, and I hope you get enough followers from doing it through guerrilla media for the at least second time. I hope you get the following you deserve, so next time I can just sit and, like, enjoy your thing. And maybe it's like available on shanemauss.com/pay me money for my material, which is cool or whatever. Again, I understand the necessary evil of like needing to do ad rolls on the free version of the thing you spent years working on. Truly, I get it. But also, there's a right and a wrong way. And if your only option when you work with 800-pound gorilla media is like, we choose where the ads go, then maybe find someone else. I don't know. They're breaking their own credibility here while they grow immensely in following. So we'll see. You know, but why do they have punchup.live sites? Oh, my dates are on punchup.live. It's like, you could get a Squarespace for $10 a month and have it be xyz.com. Like, my name is xyzcomedian.com. Like, but they don't do that because they'd rather be focusing on other things, I guess. But I'm not judging their souls. I'm judging their work by the time it got to me.
Who cares? It just doesn't stick with you in that same way. I like that. Because it might seem like, you know, if you're a real explorer, well, what if it is like real, those codes, they look really important. Like, what if you do pull some of those things? Maybe they would be kind of useful, right? But the thing with psychedelics generally, and especially DMT, is like, you know, sometimes people are like, oh, I saw the truth. Doubt it. You got a fresh perspective. That's wildly important. That's great. And you might now be left with a more accurate perception. But generally speaking, you don't want to abandon an entire life's worth of experience because of one 10-minute or few-hour experience that you had. And it's probably just kind of the novelty that made you attach to that. You know, I don't think any one of us are in any danger of learning some ultimate truth anytime soon. And with DMT especially, there's like kind of a famous kind of trickstery sort of quality where DMT will be like, okay.
It's a test. It's a hubris test, right? If you can come back from a psychedelic experience and feel like you're the Messiah, you being that misinformed is probably better for the universe. If you come back and your ego death feels so big that you're like, I have the fucking answers now, then you read it wrong, man.
Let's try this. Here's the first song that brought vibrations into the universe. And if you just remember these notes, you can always find your
DMT, is that serious? Was that important? Do I need to remember that?
Oh, that was so much fun. I'm giving him another point for originality. In this sense, it's hard to know how to score. Something that really I am truly enjoying and that I see the brilliance in. I see the skill of the pen. It's just not by traditional standards your average comedy special, which is what the Eek scale is largely out there to do. But I, as a believer, as a worshiper of originality, I think that's where he's making most of his points, and it will probably continue to. I'm going to do it bit by bit But like next time he does like a cool like this, you've never heard someone doing a voice mod and then having strange music in the background, and that also me, which is pretty cool too. But it's very original on his behalf, and you get points for that here. Originality, I think, you know, can help make up for some of these other mistakes that he's clearly made here. And not even I think it can, I think that it is. I'm watching it happen. Because I still fully very much enjoy that.
So, you know, things can get...
And stick around, because when we are done with this particular review of this particular comedy special, we will be doing a musical performance by Druid the Punk. Me, I'm DTP, baby. Down to punk.
Get a little loopy. But ketamine is, I would say, there's just kind of less of a chance of like kind of getting obsessed over it.
By the way, if you've noticed that I've gone from calling myself Jippo to referring to myself as Druid, both names apply. Jippo is my like real life name. Like, you know, I like when I'm in new bands, I tell people my name's Jippo. It's my like, it's my thing, because it's my heritage. So Jippo, but people online, some of my friends, you know, they know me as Druid, because that was where I sort of started getting into the comedy sphere as Druid the Punk, which is a really cool name, but I didn't feel like it encapsulated what we were doing here on Critical Eeks. And so the show is called Critical Eeks. My name is Jippo, but I also go by Druid.
What the hell was that?
Lore, it's important. I'm world building.
I think is a good starting point. I interview scientists and stuff a bunch out about psychedelics. Just I really like learning about how the mind works and perception. Generally, I happen to be at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and at this university, they were showing me around. They were like, see those horses out there? Aspiring veterinarians learn to work with horses safely here. And you want to know something interesting? They didn't even know I was interested in psychedelics. Like, you want to know one of the most dangerous parts as a veterinarian, and for the horse too, working with horses, is that if you sedate a horse with ketamine, you got to be real careful. When they come out of it, they can be very unpredictable. I was like, oh yeah, I get it. Yeah. Listen. If you're a horse and you just forget you're a horse, and then you just become the universe for 45 minutes, and then you, the universe, get pushed into some impossibly small space, and then you think you're about to become John Malkovich, and then instead you just wake up a horse in a full-grown horse body? Yeah. Unpredictable. Unpredictable is a great description for that experience. And unpredictable is a good description for psychedelics generally. And it's good that there's more information out there, and as things are opening up, you kind of can have a better sense of what you're getting yourself into, which is a welcome change from how things have been for a long time. I remember probably 10 years ago or something, I had this dealer. They were amazing. Always the best stuff, great prices. They would test things, super high quality, always had fun things around. And I had never gotten mushrooms from them before. I went to their house, and to get MDMA or something, they happened to have these chocolate mushroom bars there. This is 10 years ago. This was a real novel thing, spoiled Colorado people. I was very excited. You know, I got 10 in my glove box, you know.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skill.
Fuck, man. Shane, I can't do anything for you there. That's another fucking ad break. Demerit. It's your third one. It's your sixth one, actually. Like, come on, man. We're trying to vibe or whatever.
I had never gotten mushrooms from him before. He had 2 left. I purchased both of them. They're $70 each. Weeks later, I went to do them. I wrote him. I was like, hey, how much of this should I have? And he's like, oh, for most people, about a half a bar. For you, probably a full bar. I was like, huh, $70 for one mushroom trip? That seems a little high. Yeah. Oh, well. Not gonna let it ruin my experience. I just don't go to him for mushrooms anymore. I gobbled up that bar. Mushrooms usually take an hour to kick in, about 5 minutes into it.
That's how you know. That, like, holy shit, is that do you guys already? Oh shit, we're gonna jam tonight.
I was like, I think I misinterpreted something here. I wrote him back. I was like, hey, how much did you say to have? And he was like, oh, you know, one of those little bars. One of those segments? Segments is such a better description. And I unwrapped the other bar and faintly pressed into this homemade nonsense. There were 16 bar-shaped segments.
Oh, fuck no. There but for the grace of money. Wait, there but for the grace of lack of money. Go on. Fuck, man.
I ultimately had a fantastic time, if I'm being honest with you, but it was not without its challenges. There was a period of time I just thought I was just stuck in some horrific. I had lost my vision completely. Just nothing, just static, just no vision whatsoever. Horrifying. If I tried to close my eyes, that was even worse. That situation. Open my eyes, just nothing, blind forever. And you can have periods of that on psychedelics where you can feel like, uh-oh, what if I'm stuck here? Usually you surrender to it, it'll pass pretty quickly. This was going on for a convincing amount of time. It was real horrifying. But I was in this other space for so long that this world seemed really alien and foreign to me. And I kind of thought of this funny idea that's helped be a bit of a thought experiment. Now, anytime I kind of feel myself a little in over my head while tripping, which one, I just reminded myself how bizarre all of this reality is. I mean, look at any baby. Every baby is tripping their balls off. Every single one. I've seen a lot of tripping people. You can't show me a baby that is not tripping. I know how to identify tripping people. We are all born into this experience, tripping our balls off, and then we just acclimate to it so much so that you forget what a trip all of this existence is until you have this mind-altering perception, and then that can seem crazy just because any perception that you could ever have on any existence is just going to inherently be crazy and complex and overwhelming. And so my thought was, just imagine instead that they were so like they were born like they were on LSD or mushrooms all of the time. That's just normal life for them. As far as they know, everyone sees the world the same way that they do. And then one day as an adult, someone gives them a pill that brings them to our perception, this reality. I promise you, it seemed just as crazy and trippy and weird and interesting. Your most boring, mundane day would be the most fascinating thing to someone who's never experienced it. Oh my God, I get it now. It's like there's these things called jobs and entry-level positions even, where someone can get their foot in the door. It's like there's these crazy hierarchies within these jobs. They're kind of like not objectively real, but subjectively real and important at the same time. There's all these weird labels attached to different positions on them, and you get paid different monetary values at each one. It doesn't always seem fair, the distribution, but it seems like if you just kind of show up on time each day, Sure, probably gonna have to kiss the last, step on a few toes. Probably not gonna be easy. I might be being a little naive here, you know. We're all set up a little differently in life and have different bits of luck, but maybe if you show up for this experience, you can buy yourself a chance at maybe elevating your status on these hierarchies if that's the sort of thing you care about. Oh my God, it's like there's a potential boss inside each and every one of us. Holy shit! And then that pill wears off, and you have to go back to your dumb, boring LSD reality. Oh, here we go again with the squirmy ceiling. All right, mysterious purple lady. I'll be with you in a second. Me and Strange Cat have lots of screaming to catch up on. Point is, guys, life is a trip, and I hope you have a better one. Thank you so much for coming.
Shane Mauss! Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Mauss. Well done. Very cool show. Very original, which we will be seeing here presently. I'm going to give him 1 point for delivery before we go through and count this out. So, he has a point for informative efficiency. He has a point for sets tone. Let me pull up a sticky note here because I'm not the best memberer. So that's 1 for sets tone. That's 1 for informative efficiency. In the transitions section, he got a point for subject adjacency. You know what? I'm going to give him another point for that because that whole thing seemed like one cohesive unit. This wasn't traditionally designed in a 3-act or 2-act structure necessarily. But that's almost even higher call for better transitions. Right? Like, you don't have the natural need to put a transition in because this is an act break. For hinges, given the aforementioned, he didn't score any points, no demerits. Cohesion, this part stuck him. Damn. 4, now negative. He does get 4 negative points. He got 2 demerits on ad breaks, which is an X2 minus, which means he lost 4 points. Right now we're at a 0 total. But he's about to make quite the fucking comeback here looking down, because character consistency is an X2 plus, so that's 2 points on the board for him. Then down in the section for joke fidelity, he got a point for callbacks. He got a point for delivery. He did a great job with dealing with a Monopoly guy in the first half of it. He got 3 points for originality. 1, 2, 3. And a single point for subversion of expectation. Thank God, because its final score is 13 minus 4 is 9. He gets a 9 on second dose. I had a great time covering this one. Sean Mauss. I don't know why I got Murphy's on the mind today. Probably because the song I'm about to play next is based on an old Irish tune. Based on a sort of Murphyism, if you will. You get a quick drink of water. Sorry, I know that's gross. Usually I do it off camera, but that's how I get my angelic voice. Old Joe Clark. his half a salty dollar bills are just doing his best to try to get by. And I said, fare thee well, old Joe Clark. Fare thee well, I wish you luck, man. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark. I hope you'll make it to the morning. Joe Clark got drunk, stumbled on down through the east side when a couple of boys with their hoods pulled up said, "You gringo, you afraid to die?" Old Joe Clark reached in his pockets. The boys said, "Man, how much you got?" Well, old Joe Clark, he didn't have no cash, but he said, "Boys, I got quite a lot." And I said, "Fare thee well, old Joe Clark. Fare thee well, I wish you luck, man. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark. I hope you make it to the morning." Joe's hands ain't what they used to be. Finger on the trigger of his 45. Now these old boys might rob old Joe, but you know now old Joe, he's still alive. I saw old Joe Clark today. I asked him, "Man, are you in pain?" He said, "I got 2 more notches on the grip of my gun." But old Joe Clark, he don't complain. I said, "Fare thee well, old Joe Clark. Fare thee well, I wish you luck, man. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark. I hope you make it to the morning." I said, "Fare thee well. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark. Fare thee well." I said, "Now fare thee well, old Joe Clark. Fare thee well, I wish you luck, man. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark. I hope you make it to the morning." Thank you so much for hanging out. Had a great time this week as always. I've been Critical Leaks, and in the meantime, be nice.